I call meeting to order June 14th, 2022, Ware Park and Recreation Commission. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John couldn't make it early, so I had to go meet him. So I'm just here.
Did you get these numbers out of the mailbox?
Please have Sophia sign her timesheet and return to me. Thank you, Beth. Can you have Sophia sign that, please, and bring it back to Beth? Okay, so off the bat, I know we have some amendments to the agenda. Denise emailed me some things she wanted to bring up, so we will definitely be adding a few things on the agenda.
Which actually already exists under future business, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that the CIP, which would
All right.
slash,
I thought there was more than one thing you wanted to
capital, it
do.
was a capital fund,
Okay,
and then the revolving fund.
okay. Oh, they're both on there? Okay.
Well, you have the CIP, which it all kind of goes in together.
Okay,
Yeah, it's all one
All right.
item.
perfect. Okay, so then we don't really have any amendments. All right. And I don't see any public comment tonight. So, we have Denise on my left, Janine here, Dave on my right, and we have Lisa on the phone, joining us by speakerphone. So, we'll start off the top with, tennis courts.
So I'll go down, give an update, and then maybe we could talk about the email that you got.
Okay,
Is that
yes.
the place we would do that?
Yep,
Yep.
well, yeah, it's in here, support sharing, it's down there.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't know if I printed that
So,
email.
I talked to Vermont Rec
Okay,
yesterday. According to Michelle, who I talk to all the time, we're still scheduled for July.
okay,
I asked her if we could get a little bit more specific, so she was gonna, it's the answer I always get, let me check with Steve.
okay,
But I did mention to her that I will be publishing the July schedules next week, and I need to kind of have some sense. So I'll probably have to dog her. But
okay.
she verbally said to me, we're still on the calendar for July.
Well, that's good.
In a way, I'm glad we weren't on the calendar for June, because we need 3 to 5 consecutive nights
Without rain.
in
Or
above
warm.
55.
Yeah, we had a couple frosty nights.
And we've
didn't
had, mid to low 50s, so it's probably a good thing. So anyways, I'll keep on them, and she said we usually get maybe a 2 to 3 day notice, because we will have to go up and remove the equipment and the nets,
we? Okay,
so,
are you okay with doing that? And-
yeah.
Okay,
As long as
Okay.
I'm in town, I'm away next week, but otherwise I'm around, so I should be able to do that, no problem.
I'm around
Yep.
that week, but I'm away the next week.
I think we'll be good. I think Bruce and I can get down and do that.
Oh, next week.
We're not away in July, so we should be good,
And
Okay.
I'm around too, so
yeah.
Okay,
not planning on going anywhere, so.
We can probably remove trees trimmed, because they're done. The trees are gone.
you're happy with everything?
It looks
I
really
thought there
good.
was one more that was taped? No, okay, all right.
Nope. And I have to tell you, the courts are staying really clean.
Okay,
So, and,
we had the
um,
gates locked before they were open.
yeah, the gates will lock again in the fall. We did leave the back gate locked. I saw no reason to unlock the back gate. It's just another means of somebody getting in there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody uses it.
I mean, you have to walk all the way around to get to
Right.
it, so it would be another way.
I think they're used to yeah, I think that's fine.
We don't have to do it forever, but I didn't take the lock off that one, I just unlocked the main one. The sign, I still haven't heard from Linda. Once we get the courts done, I'll get to her.
Okay.
So in regard to the email, which I think everybody saw,
It went to PARC. I don't know, Dave, did you get to see the email about the pickleball player that wanted court sharing rules to be posted It
Yeah, I
was,
saw that, yeah.
okay. Denise, Lisa, did you get that email?
I saw the email. I feel like I'd like an explanation from Denise about what that is about. I
Yeah.
don't fully understand.
Right.
Okay, yeah, and I wanna make note, I think you asked that individual to
I
provide you
did,
more details.
and he did
if
not
that-
reply,
Right,
yes.
and you invited him to come.
Yes, I did invite him to a
and
meeting.
We have nobody here, so.
Yes.
And so, I think I mentioned this to you last year, that we had had some issues around, one or two individuals wanting to come in and designate courts for advanced play. And that's, I think, essentially kind of part of the root of what that email is about. The way it works now is through Ware Pickleball Club, and we use Ware Pickleball Club because it's just a means of organizing people.
Mm-hmm.
We have an app, so he mentioned in his email about a scheduling app.
Mm-hmm.
We use TeamReach. It's an app that actually is used by surrounding communities, so Concord, Hillsborough, Warner, Ware. To my knowledge, we're all using it. What I do is I post pickleball play from 8:30 to 11 every day, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think it's 6 to 7:30.
Is every day Monday through Sunday?
Yes.
7 days?
Yep, it's not used 7 days, but it's there for people to sign up to play. By doing that, you can go into TeamReach, add your name.
Can I interrupt? Sorry, can I interrupt you for a second? I
Yeah.
apologize. Typically, at this point, I'm taking notes on my computer. I'm not able to do that right now. So I don't know if somebody else is taking any kind of notes.
I'm
on
taking
what's
notes.
happening. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So anyways, you can go into TeamReach, say yes, no, or maybe. And
So you're like responding to an RSVP or something?
You're just responding to this.
Event.
The scheduled event for that day,
Okay.
which allows people to go in and then view, oh, we have 2 people signed up. You need 4 to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna drive 15 minutes down to the courts if we don't have enough people to play.
Okay.
If you see 10 people signed up, well, then you know,
Plenty of
geez,
people
we
to
have
play.
plenty of people to play. So it's a means by which Concord uses it at their courts, Warner, Hillsborough, I'm sure others do, but those are the ones I'm familiar with.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you, on those other communities, do you have to use that to get court time, or can you just show up and be a walk-on?
You can show up and be a walk-on, as you can with us.
Yeah, okay.
Because we have people who show up and haven't signed up yet,
Right.
and they'll come and play.
Okay.
So it's not a means of restricting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
What I have done is posted up at the tennis courts what our email address is, and I had a whole sign that talked about TeamReach, the code to get in. So when I get a request from somebody, I automatically approve it, so that they have access to the schedules right away.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fee to join the club. On the sign it said free to join. When we need balls and nets or whatever, we just ask people for donations, but it's not mandatory. People don't give money, they don't get booted out.
Right.
But it's like other towns. I mean, the city of Concord, it's one individual like me who manages it, just so you don't drive all the way over there and go, oh, there's not enough people
Nobody to play, yep.
So, so we do already have an app, and it's open to the public. Twice this year, twice that I've been there, there's been tennis players. So we've been sharing, as we agreed that we would, which I also posted.
You mean twice since it opened?
Yeah, it could have been more times than that, but there were 2 times that I was there. In TeamReach, I do have a message that says we have an agreement to always share the courts with tennis players. We yield 1 court to tennis players, so it's actually been pretty good. Nobody's been complaining. I always go over and introduce myself.
Mm-hmm.
I also mention that the court's gonna be redone and to keep an eye out for a sign.
Right.
Because they'll be closed.
Right.
And I've had 2 people that I talked to say, oh, I play pickleball too, can we sign up?
Right.
So they've signed, they've signed up. So I think generally it's just,
It's a positive thing.
I haven't had anybody complain, and we're doing what other.
This is the first time that I think Park has had any mention of something.
If we need to clarify, I mean, we can put it on the website that, you know, the courts are open for play, walk on, everybody plays together, that we yield to one court to tennis players, one court to pickleball players if they're both are there, which I'd be happy to write up and do. And I think that some towns struggle with people requesting that certain courts be reserved for more advanced play, and unless you're deemed that way. But
I
then
don't see how you can do that unless someone categorizes each person, and then you're talking about an organized sport with coaches and referees and all that stuff.
Or you're just saying,
Tryouts.
you know, you're taking a public court and saying, I put my net on this court.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really advanced, you can play, but otherwise, whereas where pickleball says anybody who walks on, beginner or not, can play.
Mm-hmm.
I was over at Concord today, and they just opened up their new courts, and that's the way they run their 6 courts. You just walk on.
Mm-hmm.
There's no designation of courts.
But you can use the team reach.
And that's what I do, because I
Okay.
wouldn't drive all the way to Concord unless
Right.
I knew
Right.
that there are going to be enough people there to play. So, like I said,
When there's too many players, do you rotate in and out, or how
Oh,
do
yeah.
you do it? Okay.
yeah, you put it's called paddles up, and
Mm-hmm.
4 people come off. If there's 4 waiting,
Mm-hmm. So it's just like every so often, or a certain score, or?
one game.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Okay.
one game. You play to 11.
Okay.
When that game ends, if there are people waiting,
Yep.
let's say there's 2 waiting,
Yep.
then you might say winners stay.
Okay.
The
Want to play
next
the
two
winners
come
or the
on.
losers? No.
You know, or
Okay.
if there's 4 waiting, then all 4 come off.
Okay.
The next 4 go on. So we never leave anybody
Mm-hmm.
sitting
Mm-hmm.
and waiting, and that's why it's nice not to have designated courts.
Right.
Because then you could have people
No,
waiting.
No, you can't, I don't see how you could or should or would be allowed to designate courts. You know, it's like swimming, and it's like saying only certain swimmers can go here or there, you know, and
Some towns do have, they might say general play, I'm gonna make up the times.
Okay.
General play 8 to noon, 6 to 9,
okay.
and they might then say advanced play, but the
Who
thing,
decides advanced play? That's my problem. I know, like, for example, the Everett Ice Arena in Concord, they have open skate, you know, this time and then this time. Then they have, you know, clubs or teams that have, you know, that have it closed.
it
So
becomes very difficult, because often what happens is it's an individual who is there
Mhm.
who says, you really shouldn't be here, you're not advanced enough."
Right,
And
right.
it creates,
and that's not fair.
that's where you get a lot, I personally
Yeah.
feel, complaints. Here in the town of Ware Pickleball Club, as I mentioned, schedules from 8:30 to 11, 6 to 7:30, 2 nights a week. The rest
Right.
of the time, there's nothing happening on
But
those.
even though we're pickleball scheduled that time, it doesn't mean other people can't play.
All advanced players can come and play. All beginner players can come and play.
Right.
Anybody can come up there and play.
Right.
If you would like to play with people,
Yep.
4 people who are advanced,
Yep.
and you don't want to mix in,
Yeah.
well, from what I can see when I drive by every day, from 11 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
to most days, all day, because the evening people are only playing 2 nights a week,
Which nights are those?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
They've asked us to schedule
And that's what day? What time?
6 to 7:30.
Okay.
And even though I schedule 7 days a week, I
Yeah.
don't think we ever have anybody play on Sundays.
Right.
And
But I could show up at 9 o'clock in the morning, never having played, and you would let me play.
absolutely.
So just because Ware Pickleball has in the team reach time that they like to get together at that time, it's not excluding anyone else. It's more just telling their players that there's people to play that time.
Right, and I think in a way, where for the town,
Mm-hmm.
we could say, all right, the Ware Parks and Rec could manage the team reach application,
Right.
schedule the play time every day,
Right.
but then one of us is gonna have to take responsibility for
Right.
that. Right now, it's just, we're doing, we've been buying all the equipment.
Right.
Anybody who signs up in Team Reach, I give them the code to the equipment
Right.
box.
Right.
They have full access to all 4 nets.
Well,
So in a
I've-
way, we've been in a way, I feel like,
I feel like the email was sent to us. I questioned more information and none was given. And I invited the person to the meeting and it was not reciprocated. So
and that
I,
same individual was invited to a meeting last year and then ended up not coming.
right, I don't have to, it's a non-issue for me.
Yeah,
It would be an issue if something else was done about it, you know, if they followed through, if they backed it up. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know, if, like,
if the complaint.
I look at my own personal experience, when
Right.
I had a complaint about the lake, I know what I did about it, and
right.
here I am.
Right. If,
So
if
I-
the complaint was that we were not allowing people to play, I could see that.
No, and it wasn't, it was definitely along the lines of, it seemed more, and I didn't print it out, and I'm sorry,
Oh,
because I didn't remember.
You know what, I think I
It's-
have it right.
It seemed more to me like the lines of, I don't want other people there when I'm there.
So I highlighted a couple things in this email.
Thank you.
So it says, where courts does not have any clear documentation of how the courts could be or should be shared when multiple groups or multiple activities are scheduled. So, again, we could post on our Facebook page.
Yep.
That the courts, if it's tennis and pickleball at the same time, tennis on one court, pickleball on the other. And if we
And
want.
if it's all pickleball, all are welcome.
Right. So that was pickleball and tennis playing simultaneously. Different pickleball groups was the next header. Play with groups, switch on and off courts. Well, that's essentially what Where Pickleball is doing. We're playing as groups and we're switching on and off. So, I don't know.
If
And then
you,
it said 1 hour time, 1 hour per court time per group. See, that's the thing. The Where Pickleball group is open to the entire public. We've never, yes, I schedule a couple hours, but
you're not scheduling a couple hours and saying no one else can
That's
play.
correct.
That would be different.
Correct.
If Where Pickleball scheduled time and I showed up not Where Pickleball, not knowing anything, and you said you can't play, that would be the problem. The fact that Where Pickleball says, hey, we're down here playing, that's like adult pickup soccer shows up at Bolton. You can still go and join the adult pickup soccer. They just picked a time they're gonna be there. They
Right.
didn't say no one else can come and play soccer.
So, and I think the courts are open. You guys drive by them all the time.
Yeah, I don't
Plenty-
drive in the parking lot,
There's
but.
plenty of time when those courts aren't used at all. If individuals want to go and play with their own 4 people or own 6 people.
Are you willing to write up a draft of, like what you explained to me tonight, about how it works, you know, pickleball one court, tennis another court, if need be, if players are waiting, after one game's done, you know, if you wrote that up and we could all read it and vote and agree and sign off on it, and then it gets posted on our website and on our Facebook page, that there's rules. I don't think it needs to be at the court.
I think
don't-
putting it on our
Because if
page is
someone
fine.
inquires,
Yeah.
there's rules for the, or,
Right.
and we can call them guidelines.
problem
They don't
is
even
I-
have to be
yeah.
rules necessarily.
Anytime you post any kind of handmade sign at the.
No,
yeah.
no, it's not, and I don't,
And the other
and I don't
thing-
wanna make it permanent at the
No.
tennis court, because you might not use Team Reach in a year, because
Correct.
it might be horrible, you know, they might have changed
So,
something.
and that's, they mentioned a different app, but I just don't see why we would change apps, because I'll tell you right now, we're all looking at each other's the same app.
Well, and we're not reserving the court, because the situation with what I see,
It's first come, first serve.
it is first come, first serve, because a lot of people may just show up at noon and don't know anything about
Right,
Team Reach
right.
and want to play.
Right.
And so if somebody comes at 12:30, oh no, we reserved this, you have to leave. That's not how it works.
And if there comes a day when it, where pickleball club feels like they want dedicated time, then where pickleball club would have to come here and,
Yeah.
like WAC does, and say,
We need to reserve
But
a
the fact
field or
that
something
I
like
feel
that.
like we've been doing a service for the town by creating organized play,
Yep,
providing all the equipment, which, otherwise the town of Ware would either say, have to buy, or people would have to bring their own.
right.
And why would you change apps when everybody around you is using the same one and it seems to be working?
No, I don't see
The
any
only thing that I would be
reason.
concerned is, once we've got our courts all redone, how many more people from out of town?
It's
are
gonna
we-
happen, because there's other,
So I will tell you that, I just redid, we had 99 people in the app. I just sent out an email to confirm. So we have 60, 65, 66 now. People have moved away, some have gotten hurt. They are not all Ware residents, just like I'm not a Concord resident, but I have access to play at the Concord courts.
Yeah,
Our play has been down to about probably 2 courts worth of players, on occasion 3, since Concord opened their brand new courts.
oh, yeah.
Because people who are coming to play here with us.
If they're halfway, yeah, if they
So a
just,
lot of
yeah.
the Warner people now are going to Concord and not playing here. Some of the Henniker people are going, some of the Ware people are going to Concord because they're brand new courts. They have permanent nets,
Yep,
and so it's better play.
yeah,
So, and that's what happens when you have deteriorating courts.
right,
People are gonna go other places.
right.
We've never, last year, a lot of them came here to play.
Right, because ours were better than some other places.
Right, but that made better play for the residents in Ware. So it's never been, now I can tell you today at Concord, there were 4 to 8 people waiting. There's so many people now, they have 6 courts, but because everybody's coming there from other towns, so I don't really see that happening here. If it did, then we'll deal with it, but,
It's not an overcrowding
it's
situation.
not an overcrowding situation. And the fact that we have 65 people in the app and nobody's complaining just tells me it's working. And people will message me, hey, can you throw a night in the schedule? There's a bunch of us that want to play. I'll throw a night in the schedule so they can sign up and see how many people they can get.
And so back to the there aren't complaints is I can't put a lot of substance in it was basically an email we got because there was no other further communication. So it was just an email.
So I would just say to you, I guess I would say, it seems to be going well. Our numbers are down, but that's because Concord opened their brand new courts. I just talked to some folks from Warner. Since Concord opened their courts, even they're not getting people to play. So.
Oh, and Warner.
And Warner has brand new courts too, but more people are going to Concord. So it is part of it, but I think if
It'll
our courts
probably
get better.
And Concord will
resurface.
get, it's brand new now, but
And when
Doesn't
our
last
courts
forever.
get resurfaced and are better than it, we may get other people. But we still have 8 to 12 people playing
okay,
on given days, so it's not like we don't have anybody playing.
all right. So you're willing to,
I'll write something up. Yep.
okay.
And then, I don't know, I sent you all the picture about the skateboard
Yes,
tracks, thanks to the pollen.
yes.
They clearly had been over every square inch of the court skateboarding. So, and it does clearly say that no skateboards allowed on the court. It just becomes a concern when the new surface gets down. And I don't know what the answer is, possibly cameras. Could we ask on occasion if the town police are driving through the center, can they just swing through the parking lot? I don't know.
You can always call and ask and say you're from Park and say why.
Yeah.
And just, let them know that that's what's happening and you're concerned about. They do drive by the lake a bit. They do drive by the skate park a bit. I'm sure that the tennis courts are on their radar, but they could put them on there more. All you can do is ask.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, putting cameras up there, what's that gonna do? Who's gonna monitor it?
Well, maybe she's hoping deterrent of seeing a camera. They might think twice,
I,
like
I'm-
even the the no skateboarding sign and the, you're on camera kind of thing.
I'm not recommending camera.
No,
I'm just
I'm
saying
just-
it was
no.
thrown out there as the
Yep,
potential.
no, and that's a valid question. The rebuttal to that is, okay, let's throw money, let's put a camera on there, let's pay for the internet and the power and all that stuff. We don't have a monitoring company that monitors that stuff. Are we gonna just only, where's the recording device gonna be, or is it gonna be internet cloud-based? do you have it in your budget to pay for
I
that?
think-
Well, I think some
I
of,
think it would be cloud-based. I'm sorry, I'm gonna peek in here a little bit, just because of a little bit
Lisa's
of,
on the phone.
a little bit of prior knowledge. I think it would, we'd have to have something in the cloud to record, but I also think that it would probably ping, some park, cell phones, because we just need an app for that, to watch those cameras. So if it can ping a phone and we can actually see that there's a problem, then we can,
The
then we
problem,
can
the problem with that
contact the
is it's
police
gonna ping a
department.
phone,
They certainly can't be monitoring. We would have to be the ones monitoring.
it's gonna ping a phone anytime anybody's in there, whether it's the pickleball people or regular tennis ball people, and
Yeah.
then it's gonna be crying wolf. After
Well,
the
the-
first
You're
week
gonna
of
ping,
pinging
and
The
we
a
pers-
go,
phone.
okay, yeah, pickleball's there.
The
and now I
person-
don't get to check it the next
Right,
2
when it
hours.
pings the phone, I mean, I don't know anything about this type of technology. Can you see on your phone? Do you open it up and you can
Yeah.
visually see live, and then you can
So
know?
You can decide.
And you
yeah,
can mute it?
Now, I'll tell you, if it pings me during the day, I might not be able to open it up because I'm at work. But the bottom line is, we would have that then recorded, and there are oftentimes, so when I used to, and I've got to reset it up at my new house, but when I had it at the old house, it was great, because, something would ping, and I'd go, okay, there's somebody in my driveway. Why is there somebody in my driveway? And I could
like a
at
ring
least see
doorbell.
what they were up to in my driveway.
I don't have one of those either, but I
I don't
understand.
either.
All right, so basically to answer, John's thing is, it would ping somebody, they just look at it and go, all right, it's tennis, and they
Yeah,
either mute
but
it.
I don't want, I
Somebody
don't
would
want to
have
have
to,
50 pings a day.
somebody would have to pick to be pinged.
I'm not sure we're there yet. I guess my point was just to bring it up. I'm happy to drop a call to Ware Police and just say, hey, if you happen to be driving through the center, if you drive up in the parking lot, it's pretty easy when you drive by to see who's up there doing what. But anyways, it's one incident that I could tell. If the new surface gets down and it continues to happen, then we have a $15,000 investment we just put in that we're gonna have to try to protect. And sometimes what do they say? Penny foolish, pound wise, or whatever. So
Does the library have cameras outside of their building, I wonder? I don't think
I don't
they
know,
do.
and the library probably has internet we could tap into if we had to, but.
And just if they already had
yeah.
cameras on the outside, you could
Yeah,
kinda see, but
So I
don't
think
know.
right now, just to make the committee aware, that there have been skateboarders at least once up there.
I've caught dog walkers in there before.
Yeah. I think the locks helped this winter, because I think people in the winter time do it, but, we've not seen any dog waste like we did last year, so
Good.
that has not been an issue.
No, they're over at the middle school.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
so
somebody walk across
I
East
think we
Road
just keep
tonight.
our eyes open and,
Okay.
I always look up there when I
So
drive
it's just
through.
it's being aware.
Yep, I always look up, and if I were to see kids up there skating,
Yep.
skateboarding, I'd probably swing in.
Right, and just say,
Most of the time,
sign
it's,
says
yep.
skateboarding's not allowed, it hurts the surface.
yep, most of the time I see
Yeah, and
tennis players
I
and,
have actually removed people from rollerblading and, with a skateboard and with a bike up there, so.
Was it last year? Was it last year, or
Last year, not last year, not this year. Yep, last summer.
you said,
I had
skate?
to remove people I know, and I like, but I have.
I knew who the dog walker was, they didn't know me, but, so remove skateboarders, and you said rollerbladers?
They were roller skating, not roller blading. They had those roller skate shoes.
Okay.
it's pretty,
And-
the sign's pretty clear. No
Yeah.
skateboarding, no roller skating, and it says you should have court shoes on when you're up there, so rollerblades are not court shoes.
Okay,
Um,
so we're being aware.
Yeah, I think we just have to remember that the repairs are different than a brand-new surface, and it is a tape-like substance that's underneath the new surface, so I'll keep an eye on it. If I think I see more tracks again, I'll let you know, but I just wanted to make everybody aware that
Okay,
we had seen that.
because otherwise if it happens again and we'll be like, it's an ongoing problem, we'll be like, what ongoing problem? So now we know.
So, I think other than when we get to
Anything
new
else for
business-
anybody with the tennis courts?
Other than other than the
Something scheduled?
Go ahead and just fill in, John, he missed the beginning about your
Oh,
phone call
I
from Vermont
talked
Rec.
to Vermont Rec yesterday, we're still on the schedule for July, so I've asked them if they could give me is it the second week in July, third week in July?
Okay.
So, and I did mention, it's probably a good thing we didn't have it scheduled in June, because you have to have 3 to 5 nights in a row above 55. And while we've had some nights, we've not really had
Yeah,
3
some
in a
nights it's been
row,
in the 40s, yeah.
or it's been 54, 53. The substance they put in those cracks has to cure, and the temp has to be over 55 for it to cure. So, so it's probably a good thing it's been an unusually cooler, I think, spring than normal. So anyways, they said we're still on schedule for July, and they will try to get back to me with an estimated week.
Did they do their scheduling, like, for which times soon? Did they say that they did their schedules soon, or, like, where they write people in, or no?
I think they list their jobs.
Yeah, okay, they just don't put them in yet. Okay.
Because they put us in July way back.
Yeah.
They're off doing other jobs. If they're running a week behind, 2 weeks behind, it would have an impact.
Right,
But I did ask them to try to get me at least second week, third week, fourth
a
week.
ballpark,
Yeah.
okay.
So, as soon as, and they, you know me, if I don't hear from them by the end of the
You're
week,
gonna
I'll
call
call
them
them again
again,
next
yeah,
week, but,
well,
yeah.
that's the way you have to do it sometimes. All right, anything else for, tennis courts?
No, I just want to make sure that we publicly thank the DPW for taking care of those trees. And
Okay.
Yes.
the crew that did that,
Yes.
thank you for taking care of the
Yes.
trees.
Thank you to the highway
And
department.
I did run
for the
into
trees.
Benji, and I did thank him also.
Good, okay. She said they're all, no more trees need to come down.
All the trees are down, the court's been really clean, so, I think it will be beneficial to the new surface.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Denise. Okay, anybody else? Tennis courts?
you want
Anything
to tell
else?
that we now have John Van is
Oh,
now joined?
yes.
Yes, all right.
John Van is joining us off camera. Okay, so we're on to the skate park next. As Dave and Denise and John and Lisa and Pam, I think everybody saw it, either close up or drive by. Bear delivered today 1 rail and 1 flat box. So they arrived about 2:45, close to 3 o'clock. And we, thanks to some local help, we were able to open the large vehicle gates. So they were able to drive right on the skate park and be able to work right off of the truck because they had concrete and materials and tools and all that. And so first they started by, they cut 3 holes in the asphalt, about 12 by 12. One of them I think was 8 by 8 in the center. And the asphalt was about 3 inches thick, and then it went down about 10 inches of gravel got removed underneath that. And those were filled up with concrete while the rail was being leveled. So they're in about 12 or 14 inches of concrete. There's plastic wrapped around the concrete to slow the curing process, because the slower it cures, the stronger it is. So the flat box was installed to the asphalt surface, and they are gonna come back in either tomorrow to check on it, but definitely Thursday to take the plastic back and make sure that the concrete's all satisfactory and set up. And they're pretty sure they're gonna come with the A-frame, so the final piece to be installed, they're gonna start working on it tomorrow, finish it up Thursday morning, and bring it Thursday afternoon. That is tentative. As we know, scheduling can change. So they were great to work with. We helped them. Ryan and I stayed until 6 o'clock. I think we finished at 6 o'clock, just about 6 o'clock. So it went really well. Other than that,
And and the park is relocked up?
the lock's been removed, so
I
it's
didn't know if we
closed.
I didn't know if we put a new one on.
I don't believe a new one has been purchased yet.
Okay.
And it's gonna need to be open in 2 days, so it is latched. I
Okay.
don't know that it's locked, but it is closed and latched.
Do we need to keep kids out of it? On concrete here?
It's just, they really wouldn't, it's not very easy for them to really get to the concrete because it's kind of covered in plastic and everything right now, so we're really hoping that no one removes the plastic or the boards holding it up. I don't know how we could really keep people off. We've done closed caution tape before, and it's
It invites people.
it's as strong as the ribbon is. So we're just really hoping that for 2 days, we can just get cooperation from the public to not touch something that's obviously covered up in plastic. There was no one using it the whole time we went, no one was trying to use it or access or anything like that, so. I mean, we could try doing signs or the caution tape,
For a
but
couple of
I don't,
days.
yeah. And it was already starting to set up. I don't think it can get damaged, I mean, I
Well,
guess,
He said that, I mean, he said if we can get 2 days,
Yeah.
it'll be
it'll
fine,
be,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna, I mean, if someone went in there and really tried to damage the rail right now, then they could cause, damage to the concrete that's holding it. But I think it'll be,
I mean,
It'll
they
be
can't
fine.
really damage the rail, it would just be a matter of,
you say that, but like,
Well,
they
It'd be
picked up one of
bent
the
over.
pieces
I
of
mean,
metal
it's-
and whacked at it or something,
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
really,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've
Well,
seen what
if
happens
they
with
yanked it out of the
seen what's
ground.
happened with the playground, like the bouncy animal thing was ripped out of the ground,
Yeah.
like, so.
Yeah, true.
But this is much more visible than Bolton
Yeah.
Playground, so this is, so yeah, no, I'm hoping it's all fine.
And I think it is on camera.
Yeah, yes, that's good, that's a different right.
And I would just add to that, with this individual Steve-O, who did the two
He
pieces.
gave us a number,
Oh,
he
he did.
texted me a number to tell you, yes,
So
thank you for saying that.
when we met with him a couple weeks ago when he was out there, he took a look at the two features that are there and advised, at least with one, it needs to get out of there quickly, the smaller one, from a safety perspective. The larger one has a piece of metal that really needs to be reattached. Both of them are in disrepair. So we did, I'm gonna try to go to the town hall tomorrow and see if we can get the original plans that were used to build those features, and see with Steve-O's, numbers that he gave you.
$2,400 for, to replace, what was there?
Just the one or both?
Just one, I believe.
Just the one.
He wrote, "Thanks for the help today. I did tell Denise I would come up with a number for the spine replacement, and it would be $2,400 for us to do it. If you could pass that on to her, that would be great. Thanks again. See you Thursday."
So there was a community member there today who was involved originally with the building of the skateboard park. And he's the one who said, the original plan should be on file with the town.
Yeah, he told me that a while back.
And mentioned also, the opportunity, the metal is still usable. It's the wood underneath it that has rotted. And what would it cost, if we were to get the original plans, then we could price out what would it cost, and could we find either a retired or some, carpenter, do they still call them that, carpenters?
Would-
Um,
yeah,
That would.
builders.
Builders that would be willing to rebuild those two features, because they're really only wood, and then reattach the metal. Part of the problem is the wood underneath is rotted. I mean, I could pull some of the screws out with my fingers, so I do think we need to start, which is why I want to try to grab the plans. And based on the cost of that, do we have the opportunity to go to the Emma Sawyer Trust like we did for the tennis courts to see if they would be willing to donate towards the restoration of two of the features, and maybe include also the sealing of the surface. So it's asphalt. Surprisingly, there's no cracks in it. If we sealed
It's
it
in
like
really
you
good shape.
sealed the driveway, we would be proactive in maintaining that surface for a lot longer. So we have some legwork to do, but I think just making the committee aware,
We actually have the metal for the other one.
right, that's
Because
what
there was a duplicate to the
Correct,
one that was
on
on
the
the
other
up,
end.
on the other end.
right. if we could, if I can get the plans, you know, maybe then we could start to get, we have his cost for one, but if we could cost out the cost of lumber and labor, could we get 2 to 3 done for that amount of money and restore it back to the original features in addition to what we have now? It seems to me, and I know nothing about skateboarding, but to remove those features and not replace them, that's a big part of the skateboard park, the features in
Yeah.
the park.
Yeah, the bigger the feature,
Yeah.
the more, I think, more attractive,
So
the more
anyways,
appeal the court, the
what I'll do is
park
I'll
has.
try to go and get the plans so I could let you know at the next meeting.
They might have to copy them for you, because they're
That's
probably
fine.
original copies.
Yeah, that's fine. And
Do
then,
we know that the plans are there? Because I know, I'm just thinking about.
Joe's
the
pretty,
irrigation plan.
Joe's pretty sure that they should be. He remembered,
good.
he was pretty sure.
and the
Awesome.
question I have. for-
Because it had to be inspected by Chip, he said.
Yeah. The question I have for the committee is, if we were to go ask one of the trust funds for the funding to do this, can Parks and Rec do that? Or does it, I know when I did it for the tennis court, I wasn't on this committee at the time.
I think we would ask Naomi if
Okay.
we're allowed to do that. I don't
I'll
know
ask.
who's allowed to request.
Okay.
You can have
Because-
the conversation without Naomi's involvement, but the official request should involve Naomi.
Okay.
I just meant, I meant just who to ask, who can request. I just thought Naomi,
You can, before even getting Naomi involved, go have the discussion, because,
with Emma Sawyer Fund, you mean ask them?
yeah,
Oh, so you could just ask,
just have a general conversation and
can,
pose the question, would they be interested unofficially, and if the answer is yes, then we'll go through the proper channels.
it's who does the requesting is what Denise's question was, does it have to be a general taxpayer, or can it be a board member?
And a commission
Can a
member.
commission member be
Approach
someone
a
that requests
trust.
for funds? That's what she was wondering.
Not even request the funds, can I even approach them? with the
But you're still a
question?
taxpayer, so I would think you can. I mean,
There's no reason you can't go do it.
I'm just
But
just
the Board
asking.
of Selectmen, I think, have to accept any funds.
Yeah,
That's
right, I understand that part,
So,
but we
I
meant
think
even
anybody
before
can
that.
go to-
yeah. I mean, I will.
Because you're not a paid town
Yeah,
employee
I
or
just
something.
didn't want to do it and then find out I wasn't supposed to do it.
Yeah, so
but
if
I
you have a
Linda's-
contact
I
for
do, I have
Emma,
I have
okay.
the chairs.
All right,
'Cause I-
just ask
yeah.
her and say, thank you, that would be
And then
great.
if I can get the specs, then we could start to even get a ballpark figure, because we couldn't go and ask for anything until we knew how
Have
much we were
numbers.
gonna ask for.
How about this, just a thought, see if Emma Sawyer will pay for the material, and there's been so many people that say they're gonna volunteer to help. See if there's anybody that will volunteer labor to build it, if we supply the material.
Yes, but that is kind of a hope and a dream, even though they say they're going to, versus
Well,
the
let's-
option of
let's-
hiring a builder.
If people are saying they wanna help, let's ask. Because if we don't, then you know how that, well, you should.
I know,
ask.
I have been asking for,
Yep.
definitely for help. Yes, I
I'd say
agree.
call the bluff, but that's essentially what it is.
Well, I think it would be
It doesn't hurt to ask,
pretty easy to just post it on our page.
which we have been doing, and I did get feedback for
Didn't
people
get
that were interested, but no one came.
Yeah.
No one committed.
So,
Which is awful, unfortunately.
It
all
is.
right. Well, let me at least do the legwork and see if the original plans are there. 'Cause if they're not, then we gotta go to Plan B and try to figure out how we would do
Well,
it.
I kind of liked, I'm trying to remember if it was Joe's idea from the beginning of just tracing what we have to, like
Yeah.
using that as a template. Like there's enough there to work with even if we don't have the plans.
And we
because-
may, depending on how long this will take us, I mean, we may need to make a decision on the small feature in the middle to remove it for safety reasons.
Mhm.
And leave the large one there. That piece of metal isn't great, but at least it's not rotted out.
Well, it's the matter of deciding if we do want to do that and then who does it and
Right.
where does it go.
Right, right.
So,
I mean, you'd have to end up pulling the metal off and putting it down where the other metal is, which I believe is in
Inison.
one of the Inison sheds.
Yeah.
So, you've got the metal, I mean,
And I mean, as far as if we hired Steve-O from Narbear, who's doing the original, the equipment now, he wouldn't plan to reuse the metal. I think he
Correct.
said that he would
Yeah.
use the skate
Yeah.
right material that he has. So, because it's thicker, he said, also the big advantage is you can really recess the screws, which really
Which he did on that board. that he
holds it a
brought
lot
today.
better. Yeah, you could
Yeah,
see how
yeah.
well that was recessed. So that was one of the advantages, to the skate right material he likes.
If it's $2,400 for that one,
Mhm.
probably double.
The big
The
one,
other one,
yeah. I
yeah.
think he was, when I said, originally, when I said, what can we do for $5,000, just for somewhere to start? And he said, one really big feature, like the one
Yeah,
on the side,
yeah.
or a couple little
I
things.
think for $2,400,
Mhm.
we could do all of them. You know,
Right, and
if
the
we
other
had
thing,
somebody who
the other
could
thing
do
I'm
it.
thinking about is the
Yeah.
thing he's delivering in a couple days is a lot like that
Yeah,
piece.
yeah. Well,
I
let's
mean,
take a look at it and
it's,
see.
it's an actual straight versus this.
Yeah,
But size and
Yeah.
height, it's almost the
Yeah.
same.
All
So
right.
I'm not looking necessarily to duplicate that one.
all right, well, let
But
me.
I don't know, as far as the removing, I'm not opposed to it being removed. I can't volunteer the time. I took off work today to go and help at the skate park, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
find time to do the bubble windows.
Which, no, so I would have been happy to go today. I had
I'm
planned to
glad
meet
we were
him
there.
here.
Ryan actually did the saw and a concrete mixing and a whole
Okay.
bunch. Ryan did
Yeah.
a lot of help. Just to speed it along, probably
and-
would have been an extra hour
And
or
I'm
two.
happy to go back to the park. I just need,
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
strong enough.
Right.
Yeah, to do
And
it, yeah.
Ryan
yeah.
wants to do it.
Okay,
It's just when.
Yeah.
The kids just need
I think,
rides.
and when we get to the new business.
You could drive my kids and we could.
Yeah, when we start to talk about the revolving fund under the new business,
Okay.
I do want to talk about the amount of manual labor committee members, have to do.
I know.
And because,
I hear you.
anyways,
Okay. So
and that, I don't think the sign's up yet.
at the skate park,
Yeah, so
it
Bruce
says no dogs allowed.
installed the sign at the tennis courts,
Okay.
but I don't know that the rest of the signs went up, because they ordered signs for all use at your own risk.
They're upstairs in.
So the highway department, Naomi said the highway department doesn't put them up.
All right,
She's
just so
been saying
everybody
that for a
knows.
year though. When was that going to happen?
I think she told me that like 2 summers ago.
Okay. So that wasn't the new thing.
These are the new signs.
So if
that
we
the
go upstairs and get a sign
No,
and
I don't know about these signs.
If
these
we-
are these are a little different.
if
yeah.
we go upstairs and get a sign, are they signs still upstairs? I mean, I know where they are upstairs.
2 summers ago, we're upstairs in
No.
Naomi's office. And
The-
then I think
These,
they got moved
these
the other
signs
room.
were just made, when the selectmen voted to open the
For the tennis
tennis
court.
courts. They also voted that all facilities would
Okay.
have an RSA, blah, blah, blah.
Use at your own risk.
Use at your own
And those
risk.
signs have come in or no?
They have, because the one, she gave me the one for the tennis courts, and
Okay.
Bruce installed it for
Okay.
the opening day, because they wanted that sign there before we opened.
Okay.
But I don't believe the remaining 5 signs
We're placed.
were placed.
But you think they exist? They probably
I
all
do
came
think-
together.
Yeah.
So if they're with the other ones, which I know where they are upstairs, which the room's
Yeah.
unlocked, I could give it to him. Bruce could put it up if he didn't mind, or no? Can't voluntold him? Okay.
I don't know, I'll have to ask him, but.
No, that's
Let
fine.
me, if I'm here tomorrow, let me just check with Naomi.
Drive it to the highway department and just
and
put a
see-
post-it
and
note
just
on it.
remind
Skate
her-
park.
Remind her that the rest of the signs aren't up, and that there was some, indication that these signs should be on all these parts.
She'll probably tell you that a post-it note needs to put on each one for where it belongs.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Um,
I just wanted to make sure, I just noticed today when we were out there, it wasn't, the new signs were not up. They came in a month ago or so, I think.
okay, and that was, use at own risk.
Yeah. It has an RSA number on it. It points back to the law that says all parks, public parks are used at your own risk.
Okay,
Ordered by
let's move on.
VOS, not installed yet. I spoke to Mike Harder from MH Fence about all the clips that are off, and he kinda said that it really needs to have all the fencing replaced, because you're just kinda doing a Band-Aid, and I said, okay, we'll go under your advice, but I need numbers, and I haven't heard back. I thought, looking at
That
it,
fence looks.
I think that fence
way
looks 10
better
times
than-
better than most of our fences. I agree
than
with you.
Some of other
But I also
facilities.
agree that the top's really getting abused. I thought about it today, and I look at how the softball has the
Yeah.
yellow thing across the top, so you lean on that instead of leaning on the fence. It's flexi duct for culverts.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be yellow playground
Yeah.
plastic. So I'm considering looking into just how much does that cost? You can get that stuff cheap at like Henniker
Yeah.
Crush because it goes in the ground. You cut a slit and you put it over the
Yeah.
fence. Something to extend
That-
the life of the top
yeah.
of the fence, because I agree with you, that fence is better than
And it's
any other
black,
fence that we
it's
own.
not it doesn't look
No,
rusted.
it's just the
yeah.
top
We
that
can, we
is
can, we can see if we
abused.
can get you a price for what the middle school has on their fence.
Right, but and I'd love to compare that, but I'm thinking those are playground and they're gonna cost more versus you go up to Henniker Crush where I got my culvert and it's just a plastic tube and you just splice, you know what I'm saying? So I wanna
But
compare them.
then it also kind of all matches.
It would be black and it would match the black fence. It would actually look, I think it would look sharp.
For underground, it's not gonna be UV protected.
Yeah. We'll see if I
That
can,
could be possible.
we'll see if I can get you a price.
Well, you can get me a price, is whether or not, you could
Get
tell
a
me where
quote.
you guys bought it from and I can get a price, right?
That's what I will get you.
Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to take notes. I don't take notes while talking very well. What is it called? Corrugated cover,
Fence topper. Is what I wrote it down and
right? Okay, anybody else for the skate park?
Nope.
Okay. Field usage forms. We got a couple.
We have one for the middle school for tomorrow.
Yep, so Pam emailed, middle school is using Chase Park tomorrow as a lake day. They've been doing it every year. It's 8th grade lake day. They bus the kids over. They have 2 hired, paid-for lifeguards. And they usually ask, not police detail, but police drive-bys. So we received that. They're obviously insured. Then we got a field use, we got the form
Okay, so
in,
let's go back to the park for a second.
which park?
Chase Park and the 8th grade field day. We obviously don't have a park employee that can be there to cover for
We
that
never-
day.
We never do.
Last year we had Nicholas that was there.
Really? We never did before that.
Right, well, we had Nick there last year, so this year, we obviously don't have an employee to be there. Are the lifeguards expecting to use our
Yes,
safety
They're
equipment?
asking, so the lifeguards are asking for the gate to be unlocked and the gatehouse to be open so they can access the emergency equipment.
I'm
When,
not super cool with leaving the gate.
it's been,
This year we can't, right?
right, but,
Right, I
okay.
figured everything.
I can pull the stuff out of the gatehouse that the lifeguards would need. I'm not cool leaving the gatehouse open all day long.
That's fine, they just want access to the equipment. The gatehouse doesn't need to stay unlocked, just pull out what they need. I'm fine with them using it. The fire department gave us that stuff. It's all town property, they're the town. You
Right.
know, we're letting, it's all the town insurance, it's all the same entity using it. We let the Boy Scouts stay there overnight without a park employee. I have no problem letting them be there without a paid park employee. We've
Right,
never
no.
required that before. I agree, the gatehouse should not be open for them to use. Someone has to volunteer to let them in and then lock it up at night. Is anybody available?
The only other thing that I wanna mention is that they need to not be letting anybody else in. So just like the Boy Scouts would not allow somebody else to be in there, they would tell them they have to leave. It's the same thing with the school.
Who's the responsible party? Do we want to pay an employee there? Has it been a problem where it's not even gonna be hot on tomorrow, is it 60 degrees?
It probably will not be an issue. I don't imagine it'll be an issue, but honestly, there shouldn't be anybody else there but the school group.
Right, but I'm just wondering, the people they put in charge are going to be at the beach watching the kids. They're not gonna be at the driveway watching the entrance.
I think you open the gate, get the bus driving, and close the gate.
You can close the gate without locking it.
I agree with Denise. I think that's a good.
Are you able to let them in? Or no?
I can let them in.
Do you want to let them in? Cause then you can kinda tell them the rules,
I can let them in and
take out the
we
equipment.
can, we're gonna have to pull all the trash cans out and all of the, and,
No, they can use the dumpster.
They can just use the dumpster.
They can use the dumpster. You don't
yeah,
need
but
to
we
pull
gotta,
the trash
but
can.
if we're gonna open the bathrooms, cause they need the bathrooms open, all the trash cans are in the bathroom.
They can open one bathroom. We can have one bathroom open. the weekends.
It's up to you, Dave. You're going. If you want to
That's
open
fine,
one
I'll
bathroom.
open one bathroom.
I mean, I don't know, maybe, how many kids are in the 8th grade?
100.
Okay, so maybe we need 2 bathrooms, but the trash cans are usually kept in the left side. I would just leave most of them in there, and, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal to pull them all out. I think,
If they can still use the bathroom with the trash cans in the corner. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I could pull them out. I mean, I'm just more worried about them just leaving it an enormous mess because we didn't put trash cans out. They're just gonna throw it anywhere and they're gonna have a huge,
the school's not gonna allow that to happen, because if it does happen, we're not gonna let them use the park again.
Yeah, was it a, do we, I don't think it was a problem in the past. I don't,
Yeah, they'll put everything in the dumpster, I think.
yeah.
I don't think we need trash cans out. Just let them know we don't have staff. Everything goes in the dumpster. We expect it to be cleaned up when you're done, just like everybody else.
Did, both bathrooms, did Pam tell you the buses will leave the school, what'd she say, 7:30?
I can't get there before 8:10, 8:15.
I don't have a key. I can get there at 7 a.m., but I don't have any keys.
I've got key, and I can give it to Pam tonight, and she can give it to whoever the responsible party is to open it up. Or
Do you-
I can
wait.
open it up in the morning and dump, like, just.
Wait, you say you say responsible party. Now that responsible party is opening the bathrooms, taking the trash cans into a safe
No, because-
location, moving the emergency equipment out of the gatehouse. No, I don't think that's okay.
The buses aren't gonna be able to start until like, the buses won't even be able to start running over there till, and the form says 8:30.
It's 8:30.
It says it on the form is 8:30, which means, because the buses are
They
dropping
have to
off,
drop high school.
they have to drop off high school and middle school, which means there's no way that they can even
Okay.
start taking people over there till 8:10, 8:15.
Because all of our buses go to high school. We don't have a bus or two extra that they're going to magically put the 8th graders on. I don't know. I just don't know. I
Well,
mean,
they also have,
What
I
time
thought
does school
Pam-
start
Pam
normally?
starts at 7:30 at the middle school, but at the high school it's 8:30.
I can't, I just,
8:15.
it's kinda early to have the kids over there.
What time?
Yeah,
so
but
what
they're not going to
time
have them wait
do you
around
think
until.
you get there, because I have to go to work. I've got to be in at work at like probably 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
No, I will be there. I drop off my daughter. I'll drop her off at 8:10 when I can. I'll be one of the first people to drop her off to middle school, and I'll go right over afterwards.
I mean the high school.
No,
Okay.
The middle school at
I
8:10.
mean the lower elementary.
Oh, okay.
I drop
see,
off high schoolers, and then I drop off Tatum, and then I can go on.
I can leave my house at 7 o'clock, but I don't have a key to anything.
I've
Neither
got a
do I.
key, so if you need anything, you can get it. You can use mine, Janine. But I just can't. If I go and unlock it, I'm gonna unlock it at like 5.
So,
5:30 in the
just so
morning.
that we don't keep, I guess, going round and round, the form says that they start usage at 8:30.
Right.
So, the gates should be opened at 8:30.
I don't know what form he's talking about. You talking about the
The usage
actual
form.
usage
Here's the
form?
form, the usage form.
All right, I found it here. 8:30 to 2 p.m.
All right,
Okay.
so, we should have.
Do you want to do that? You want to be there at 8:20?
I'll be there.
Here's your appointment.
I'll be there as soon as I drop off my daughter. I'll make sure the gates are ready, unlocked and ready to go. And
Or would you rather have me do it earlier?
no, I'll take care of it.
It's easier to go
The problem is we'll have to try to, I also have hay getting delivered in the afternoon, so getting it locked back up in the afternoon may
I
be a
can do
problem.
I can do the afternoon if you want me to.
Yep.
I-
Well, then-
As long as is it just
You'd
a-
have to have a key to the gatehouse to put the equipment back in it.
So,
Latching the gate's not a problem.
right, so, you know,
And I could get there in the afternoon without a problem too. I just won't get there until 3. So if they just close.
That's
the gates,
fine. If they leave it 2, you can get there at 3.
Well, it'll be more like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Well, and
But
they're gonna leave.
But I can get there.
They have to be at the school at 2 to get on the bus, so they're not gonna leave at 2.
Yeah,
gonna
they're
leave
probably
at-
leaving it like,
One.
They'll shut the gate, so it'll be shut. It just won't be.
That's fine.
I'll talk to whoever it is and have them just dummy lock it and just pull the bathrooms closed.
I was gonna say, they could even put if you're worried about it, put the emergency equipment in the bathroom and shut the door, so it's just not out and seen and visible.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
so, I'm just gonna throw out there, not for this year, but for next year. I think we need to seriously consider when we allow these groups to use the facility, what goes into, you know, opening, cleaning, all of those things. And the fact that we have staff, because again, look at us, we're all sitting here trying to scramble through our work or whatever we're doing. And even if we had to say to the school, we need to charge you $100 fee to cover the cost of one staff person to be there to open the gate, open the house, monitor the trash, close up the bathrooms, you know, I just, sometime on the agenda, I'd like us to have a conversation about utilization of these facilities. It's great that we don't charge anything, but then we're all scrambling to clean, to open, to close, and
I agree,
I just don't think that we should
I
be doing
agree.
it.
but we don't have a lot of,
Forget.
but the,
Yeah, and I think we all forget. We are all like, oh yeah, that's no problem. And then we go, wait a minute, there is a problem.
but the trouble is, we don't have an employee that can work there during school hours. Every single employee we have,
No, we do.
doesn't Nick have a job during school hours?
Not Nick. Oh, actually, she didn't join us, did she?
We'd
Never
have to
mind.
have an employee
We had
on our
somebody
payroll
who we were going to hire.
that's
A
not in school,
returner that is not.
but nobody
She was in
did.
college, but she decided
Okay,
not to
so
come
we
back
do
to us.
not have an employee that could go there while school's in session this year. We haven't hired
Right,
anybody
so
out of
I think
school.
it's, like I said, I don't wanna
Yeah.
talk about it tonight,
Okay.
but future agenda items, as we look at hiring or
Yep,
next year, I think we need to look at some of these issues that we're having, and all of us trying to scramble to try to accommodate when we have staff, and let's look at when we hire next year.
Sure, go right ahead.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, and if we can't, that would be a select board kind of decision, I think. They'd have to approve that, so if they don't wanna approve it, that's okay, because then some select board member can go down there and do this.
I think it's, I don't wanna belabor it tonight, we have a lot of
okay,
other things on the agenda.
it's on future
Yeah.
business. That was supposed to be just about the, field usage request. Okay, the only other one we had was the PAC 24 had their camp out. They did give all the paperwork ahead of time, but it was after our May meeting, before our June meeting, so I didn't submit it, but we have, it's printed here. The field usage is right here with their insurance and everything, so they had a successful night. They also had inquired about selling concessions at Chase Park. They hadn't followed through with me on dates, but now they have, because I asked again, because they showed up and sold concessions on Saturday, on the 11th. And Kristen said it went really well. They put their table near the pavilion instead of near the restroom area, and that they did really well. It went better. I don't know how well they did. So, so I now have the list of dates and times that the PAC 24 wants to sell concessions at Chase Park. Obviously, if other people inquire, they'll share, but nobody else has. So they were looking to do, oh boy, I printed the wrong one. Saturdays, every Saturday. From 11, here it is. Every Saturday through August from 11 to 3. On July 2nd and 3rd for the holiday, Saturday and Sunday, and then July 16th and 17th, Saturday and Sunday. So 11 to 3. And if somebody else wants some of those time slots, I'm sure they'd make way. They don't, but nobody else has inquired. We had the robotics team once inquire last year for one day, and that was it, so.
I mean, if we got to a point where we had multiple groups inquiring, then we might just say each group can have.
Yeah, every other or
Yeah,
something, yeah.
But I think for right now, it's a fundraiser for them, and
Yeah.
nobody else is asking, and until then, I think we just go for it.
I agree. I think it's great, and I think it's I definitely agree. Okay. Let's see.
I think eventually, if we do have a revolving fund, we should look at having things available though outside, having some sort of, snacks and things available. Just like there used to be a snack shack there a long time ago.
Right.
I think it's nice if we can have that revolving fund, that's another thing to think about later.
Yeah, and if we do sell snacks, we wouldn't have them doing it too. All right. so unless anybody else has field usage form requests or volunteer paperwork, we can go on next to Bolton Park. So I have on Bolton Park the Girl Scouts cleanup. Did they follow through with that? They were gonna do something for Earth Day in April, weren't they?
They were going to plant a tree and then they decided they weren't.
Okay, are they still doing a cleanup day or?
I cannot remember,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that was the other thing. The Girl Scouts came over the weekend to do a like a move up ceremony, and they had said that they had let us know, but I didn't see an email from Park, so I don't know if they let one member in particular know and it got lost in the paperwork shuffle or what. But they came and did a ceremony. They bought their passes, so we didn't even need to know. It wasn't anything special, but. Just to let people know. Okay, so we don't need to talk about porta potties. That's the same. We need an actual. We need to vote and decide on wood chips for the Bolton playground.
I did get another quote, I'm so sorry, and I left it, and I think it was like, ooh, it was a really big number. But it was from Brownies. It was a really big number, and I'm so sorry. I left it on my desk at work.
Okay.
So I don't have that right now. It was a big number. It was way bigger than we could handle this year. I don't even know what the second plumbing bill is for Bolton.
Right, but it's
because we
becoming
already-
a safety issue of how much of the base of those things is exposed. Like it's becoming
Yeah.
dangerous.
So, I mean, I'm so sorry. I left
No,
it
it's
at work,
okay.
so I'll have to get it.
It's all right.
But I think it was like the other quote where it was like $2,000 to $3,000 somewhere in there.
Okay.
Oh, and that was also not spread, so we'd have to have somebody spread it. That was just delivery.
Okay. I'm sure they would quote for spreading. I think they do that. Well, not really. I don't know.
They were concerned about even being able to get it close enough to the playground, so that was going to be a whole other issue.
Well, I don't know how
They
big
were like,
I don't know how big their truck is, but I can drive right to the irrigation shed.
Yeah, they were not able. They were saying they were going to dump it
So
outside area. So
It's probably a 10-wheel dump that they're bringing in, so.
I know. I was just thinking sometimes you can roll the fence back. I don't know. I've
they're
done different
talking
stuff.
about 10-wheelers.
Yeah, that's what Dave just said was
Yeah, but-
10-wheelers, but sometimes you can roll the fence back.
They also have a smaller truck. You could ask them if they could do it in multiple.
Right. Well, Stockhouse didn't seem like it was a problem. He gave us a price with spreading it. Okay.
Do you remember what that price was?
No. Do you remember what the price was for Stockhouse? He gave us the price with spreading it.
I would have to go back. I'm so sorry. I'm driving.
No, that's okay.
So can we do this, so we don't just spend, can we get the quotes emailed to us? And I say that only because we.
Wood chips for Bolton was $2,600 for the wood chips, $400 for delivery. Spreading it was $1,675, and that include weed whacking outside the fence.
So 4,675 total. I think if you add it all up.
Yeah.
$42.75, yeah.
Chips delivered
But that was
and spread last year, right?
last year. So that was back in,
What ends up happening is I have people email Park, but then when you reply, you get the personal email, and they just hit back and forth reply. And that's what ends up happening, because it
I-
happens to me too.
Yeah, I guess, I don't even know if this is the right place in the agenda to bring it up. For me, it's a bigger issue. The wood chips is a small piece of a bigger issue. We're given this tiny little budget to manage this gigantic bunch of facilities in this town that are eroding away. And each and every year, the price continues to go up, and we don't have the money to do it.
Right.
And we're not gonna change it this year, but I think when we talk about revolving account, I've got some thoughts. I've done the picture inventory, you know, as a springboard into the October budgeting. I really think that we need to capture some of this stuff, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna lose the facilities altogether. The playground, we keep putting it off, we're gonna lose the playground. You know what I mean? We're
It's
gonna
gonna
lose
fall apart. You're not
Right.
gonna be able to save it.
Right. I mean, the sandbox part has already collapsed. It should have been fixed probably 2 years ago. So, and it's what we just said about the skateboard park. You can seal the surface or you can lose the surface. And so I do think that at some point, I feel like, having been here just about a year now, it's just shocking to me how much this commission has responsibility for, and how little funding is given to them, given to us, to be able to just maintain a baseline, forget about doing anything new. So I
Right.
do think this wood chip just, for me, brings up the whole issue of, great, we know how much we need, but we can't do it because we don't have enough money.
Right, right,
And it's frustrating.
right.
It's frustrating.
Right. No, you're right. So does it help if anytime I get a quote or an estimate, I forward it on so you can have?
No, I just was curious what it was, because I probably wrote it down somewhere. It's just that whether it's the 4,000 or Brownies is 3,000, 4,000, it doesn't frankly matter, because I don't think we have the money to
Right,
do it.
right.
That's what I'm reacting to, not that we don't have the quotes, that, great, we have quotes, but we can't do it.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I'll go spend 4 hours trying to change a window on the playground, but I'm not gonna shovel,
$400 or $500 to buy the windows.
or I'm not gonna shovel
Oh,
wood
mulch,
chips.
wood chips for 6.
I didn't sign up for that,
Right? No,
you
we
know, and
didn't.
so I think, again, this is, when we get to the new items that we put on the future business, to me, this is just an example of, we need to start educating the town about what we're responsible for and what it's gonna cost, or we might as well go in and lock all the gates. Because what we're gonna have happen is what we have at the skateboard park, a dangerous situation that, we all hate to close things down, but someday, somebody's gonna skate across one of those things and it's gonna collapse.
Right.
And we'd fix it right now if we had the money to fix it, but we
And I
don't.
think we talked about this, I think I brought this up a couple, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, where I said, look, we keep getting things that are donated to the town, but they get donated with no funding behind them to help when there's maintenance
Right.
projects.
And I think the gazebo's a pretty good example of that. But anyways, well, that's not on the agenda, so we can move on, but, I think it's great we have quotes for wood chips, but maybe we can do half of the playground this year and the other half next year, I don't know.
Right.
mean,
I don't know the answer either.
Yeah, but anyways,
You had talked about, were there still damaged soccer nets at Bolton? Did you
there
still?
were, when I was out there the second time to do the windows, I didn't go back to look.
Okay.
If they
Where
were
were
still,
they?
they were still where they were. So if you're looking at football fields behind you and you're looking at that soccer field, to the left, there were two.
Were they standing up or were they laying
Nope,
down?
They were laying down
Did
and
they-
they were big.
Okay.
And then to the right,
Okay.
in the bushes,
Yep.
were the smaller, just the frames were still there.
Okay. Did they look disheveled?
The ones on your left, one was clearly broken.
Okay.
They weren't standing up because they were broken.
Okay.
The ones to the right had no nets on them.
Okay.
But if they want those frames for something
Right.
later on, put them in their storage sheds.
Right, right.
Because you can't, the weeds are gonna grow up through them and it's gonna look
Okay.
crazy.
The last time I looked, I didn't see that. What I saw looked all usable, so I should look again because
And
I
if it's,
haven't
if
looked.
it's usable, it shouldn't be laying on the ground because then they can't mow around it.
Right.
And then hence we're gonna have weeds.
Right.
So I didn't look the last time, but the first time I was down there, I did look.
Okay.
And I don't know if you noticed, but, so the town came in and did the road,
Oh yeah, I wrote notes about that.
but going down the hill,
No.
it's all washed out.
So, yeah, I wrote, that's on here too, I wrote
Okay.
about that, so the highway department, they did the straight up,
And
and
it looked really nice when I
it
was
looks
there.
nice, they did a horrible job. All the gravels in the woods, they picked up big rocks, turned all over, I threw like 20 of them off the road, cause they did one pass and that was it. So all the gravel's off to the sides, so that we have nice flat and big berms of good usable gravel in the woods. And then the rocks all got picked up, so they're just like boulders that you're gonna hit with your car. So I threw a bunch of those off. But you're right, they didn't touch the hill at all.
And-
Like they
and
didn't
it-
do anything.
yeah,
And it
if you
really
have a-
has to have
If
gravel
you have a low
added.
riding car, like I do,
Yeah,
it's very hard to even get down that
Mhm.
hill.
It is, it's worse, and it's gonna
and
be a
for every-
liability, cause it's
well,
gonna
for
start
every-
causing damage
For
on
every
vehicles.
rainstorm we have, it's just gonna get worse.
So, I've emailed the highway department before
Okay.
and never heard anything back, so, let's see, I wrote it down, hold on. So, I don't know if I should reach out to Naomi or if I should try calling or what. I don't know how to get a hold of the highway department to fix that. Like, I don't know.
Call the office.
I'm happy to, if
The
I'm
highway
gonna,
department's office?
Yeah, just call the
If I'm
office.
gonna
Joe
be-
Sarno's always in there.
if I,
Or who is?
Joe.
Joe?
either that or I can, when I'm here tomorrow, see if Benji's here.
Sometimes he's in the office, but a lot of times driving down to his office is even better. Okay,
Most of the time I've run into him here.
okay. All right, I'm just not sure, like, how it works, like if we can tell him, or if he has to hear it from,
He has to hear from Naomi.
okay. So then you just might as well reach out to Naomi.
When I'm here tomorrow, I'm gonna go home tonight, make a list of all the things that I need to
Okay.
do here tomorrow.
You sound like me when I'm in town hall. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna
What
go
do I
here, I'm gonna
need?
go here, I'm gonna go upstairs. When I was building my house, it was even better.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I agree. I completely,
Yeah.
totally had that in here. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
yeah.
All right. Naomi, that's the other thing about Naomi with the weeds inside.
Yeah.
I had asked her to add that on to, because we don't hire Stockhouse to do our work, so she has to say, it's the weeds inside the fence. That has to be done. Because even if the wood chips don't get done, that still has to get done. He's already there mowing. You know what I mean?
Yep,
So it's just
yep.
going over there
I'll
to.
add that too.
All right, and I had the sunshades that you installed,
Yep,
both of them, the second
they
ones.
look good.
Thank you very much, by the way.
problem.
And publicly thank you to the anonymous donors that requested and insisted to be anonymous, that we don't know who to thank, for the second sunshade. And then the first
And
sun,
then somebody got upset with us for
Yes.
not.
well, no, they didn't get upset with us. They made a post on someone's private personal page about how no one thanked them for the sunshade, but we
Oh,
didn't.
no, it got posted on a public page about, oh, no.
It
no,
wasn't
but
a
was.
public page.
It was on a private page. Yeah,
Right.
it was on a private page. I apologize.
Right, so it
I
wasn't,
thought it was on the parent page.
they were,
But yeah, somebody got upset, but then it was like, we're not supposed to announce it.
they
so-
were surprised they didn't hear a thank you. And it was
Regardless.
clarified that it was anonymous. And also, we'd like to thank the taxpayers for the first sunshade, because that's who bought the first one, and Denise installed both of them, and they do look great.
My husband, just for
Okay,
clarification.
and Bruce. Pam's not here to ask about the bench plaque.
I'm gonna
she's-
add the mowing field when I talk to Naomi.
Okay.
Can we go
So,
back up to the plastic windows though? real
yeah,
quick?
we're still there.
Oh.
Yeah, we're right there now.
Oh, sorry.
So round plastic windows, so you did pick them up,
Yes, they're in the shed.
and you said they're a lot thicker and stronger.
Oh man, they're nice. So one is installed. I took the brand new.
You switched the bubble out for the flat
So
one.
the bubble's in the shed because I couldn't get the bubble on the top. I can't get the bubbles off. The the screws are. I need help. But anyways, the agreement was we're gonna take that nice new bubble and put it on the top where the kids stand up.
Because that's gonna be least likely to get kicked.
Correct. And then take the stronger material and put it on the side windows. We have 4 of them, and there are 4 windows. Currently, right now, there are 3 broken windows, and the 4th one I replaced with the bubble. But they are very, very thick
Quarter
compared
inch.
to the one that was there before, which somebody's already done
Yeah,
this to it.
yeah, you can
and
see it's
damaged
got
it.
a little bit of a.
But I would say for what we paid for these, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's gonna hold up.
And they were local, which was wonderful too. There
The
was no
challenge is gonna be, one, getting the screws out, and that rim, the plastic rim
Mm-hmm.
that has to come off first, even if we wanted to put it back on, those new plastic
They
windows.
don't have holes
They
for
don't
'em.
have holes
Yeah,
for 'em.
Ryan had said that it's something that it's not too hard to, if we
We'd
wanna
have to
put the trim,
drill,
yeah,
right.
to put the trim
But I
rings
think we're
back
gonna
on.
have to damage most of the rims
Yeah,
to get them
Yeah.
off, because the screws, I mean, they're corroded, they're full of sand, they're.
and they're just decorative trim rings. It's
Right.
it's not a hazard
Well,
play
there's-
covering up screws, cause nobody's
Correct.
out there
And there's
playing.
3 of them in the shed, so
Already.
whoever took them off in the past
Right,
clearly
felt the
couldn't
same
get
way.
them back on.
Yeah.
So I
Ryan and I are gonna help
the,
with that.
the only thing that I wonder is once we get the screws out,
Mhm.
can we purchase screws that have a different head, so in the future
Well,
We're
there's
not-
specifically a safety head, so no one can show up there with their own tool and take them out.
Okay.
That's why they are a specific safety lock. And now we have, yeah, we should, I don't know if it's a specialty order, we should be able to put something in a screw. There should be something we can order that goes in a screw gun.
The only reason I say that, and if we don't put the rings on, it won't matter. They're really teeny tiny little screws, hence the socket thing you bought
Mm-hmm. Yep.
did work.
Yep,
But,
there's not strength in it.
and they're stripped.
Yeah.
Most of them are stripped because they're so small. If you try, they're stripped.
Yeah.
And you're done. And then the
And
only way
those
to
are the
get 'em
trim ring ones.
off, and the only way then to get them off is to try to pull
Yeah.
or cut
So if
them.
we eliminate the trim ring ones, the small screws won't even
I'll be done,
exist.
that's
So it'd
correct.
just be the big
That's
ones.
correct.
And we have
And
new
that
ones of
tool-
those to replace, and
that
that's a
tool-
stronger tool.
It is. Yeah.
And maybe we can, I'm sure we can special order a bit to actually fit in a screw gun. I just didn't take the time to search and hunt one down.
That.
The big Allen
thing-
wrench is okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
is what, but I just didn't have the
Yeah.
strength. They're so, and
Yeah.
I don't wanna strip them.
I couldn't do it,
I don't wanna strip them because then
Right.
you won't be able to get them off.
right.
So, if
I
somebody
will-
can get them off, I'm happy to put the new ones on.
I will get a date and a time with,
Yeah.
with Ryan. It'll have to
And-
probably be on a weekend.
And you know, if you need help, just let me know.
I'll
and-
let you know when we're
yeah.
going and
I'm
see
sure
if you're
Bruce would come
available.
down and help too. I went there twice for 2 hours and I just couldn't do
That
it.
was enough,
Yeah.
right?
But the new one does look good. I think it looks good. I think it's
Awesome.
gonna work. think
I did,
it's
I
supposed
saw
to
it.
work.
It does
Yeah,
look good. I
yeah.
did see it.
I think that
Um,
was a great idea to get rid of the bubbles and to go with this.
It was those 4 flat ones were the price of that one bubble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, it's 3 times as thick as the bubble.
It is, it's really it was a good idea. All right, so now the service hours needed, that was something you had brought up about, contacting the John Stark Regional
Yeah, so
High School.
I talked to John Stark. She said they have a specific bulletin board. If by September, we have a list of all the things that we need to have done, for example, paint the shed at Bolton's Field.
Mm-hmm.
It could get posted there, we put our contact information, and if there's a student looking for project hours.
They reach
then they
out
would-
to us and we
Yeah, and
meet
then
them
we
there.
would give them paint and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. So between now and September, if we can craft a letter, or a list of the things that we
Mm-hmm.
think a student could do for us, it would be a way of getting some of these little projects done through
And
service
we could
hours.
say, paint the shed at Bolton, this shed, and X number, it's gonna take you X number of hours to do. We projected to take X number of
Right.
hours.
Right.
Okay,
So just, I would say to the committee members, let's be thinking about it. We have July and
mental
August, yeah.
back list of
But if we
notes to
could
jot
have it
down.
ready to go for August,
Mm-hmm.
that would be great.
Um,
And I think I committed today to, I remember that, to reach out to John Stark,
about the ramp being fixed,
Yeah,
just to see
they're-
if it's a possibility,
see if their
their tech program.
tech program might be
That
interested.
was the skate park.
I'll see if I can give a call up there.
Can I add to that I did reach out to the shop teacher at John Stark to see if possibly, for next year, they could, have people fix or rebuild some of the picnic tables at Chase Park. And he said it was a possibility.
So you could bring that up again.
Okay.
Okay,
Problem is we probably have to somehow get them to the high school, have them build them, and then bring them back.
I can trailer them there if they do commit to doing it.
the paint that we had that was, so the Eagle project at Bolton to fix up all the baseball stuff had leftover paint. It had been given to me and I stored it through the winter. It was borrowed back by WAC to fix the graffiti at Bolton Park and freshen it up. And it has now been relocated to Chase Park because they paint all summer. They paint the picnic tables, they paint the bathhouse, they paint all sorts of stuff. So current paint right now is at Chase Park. If my phone dies, Lisa, I'm sorry, the battery's getting low. So Chase Park has our paint that's stored for current projects right now. And there's a 5-gallon bucket of green, so there's a lot of green. All right, you added the mowing beyond the field to talk to Naomi. I'm not worried about the dumpster right now. We have a contract for the year. That's just in here for Lisa to price shop. Broken bottom slide tube, I finally got a hold of Burke because the original estimate we had for the bottom exit tube was with the bubble windows, and we weren't gonna do both. So I had her quote for just the slide tube, and then I asked her for the tire swing, and now I'm just finding just the tire swing. Why am I finding just the tire swing? I'm so organized, it makes my head spin how disorganized I really am. Here it is. No, that's the flat window. It looks just like this. Right.
It may be worth getting that, or we may need to get it requoted.
So it's just the bottom exit tube.
Well, when I was there, though, I think I sent you guys a picture.
It went
Now-
down in price?
Now the second tube is now broken. So now you got the rim of the exit tube.
Uh-huh.
So you have the exit tube, the rim is broken, and now that's come off. It's nice having the pictures, because I can see where it was
What it
last
was
year.
before, yeah.
The next tube up is cracked, that tube is connected to. And I think
You probably want them shipped at the same time.
so we may have to requote.
Well, the exit tube went from $622 to $690 from 6 months apart.
I think,
And the
well, I'll
freight-
look it up, but
The freight is in the $300 to $400 range.
the good news is now having the picture inventory.
Do we want to get just the bottom tube, or do we want to only do it if we do both tubes?
Well, here's
Can we
my concern
afford
is
buying a tube?
if you don't get the next tube up and it continues to crack, it's going to, the new one is going to,
And shipping's, so here's the deal, like, to look at this, the flat window with the exit tube versus a tire swing with the exit tube, we're in the $100 range of weight of freight, I mean, $100 difference. So it seems to me like if you got two tubes mailed at the same time, your $300 shipping goes to $400 shipping
Yeah.
versus getting them done separately and it's $300 each time.
so here, last year, it was right here.
Yeah,
that
it was
broken.
loose, it was there, yeah.
Now, see,
Yep,
here, it's
yep.
cracked, see, can you see the
Yeah,
crack?
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So this is broken.
Yep,
And now this is cracked.
Yep.
You put this new tube on with this crack, it's gonna, eventually it's gonna snap off. So now I think we need this tube
mm-hmm.
and this tube. The first and second tube. Cause
So,
that's a pretty significant
Yeah, it
length
is.
crack.
yeah, because they climb on top of it.
Well, and
which
I think
it's part of the playground.
Well, I also think it becomes brittle because it's out in the sun.
Yeah.
So, I would just say, might as well get a quote for both of them. Like you said, if
Shipping
we're
wise, you're gonna
ship-
save a
Yeah.
couple $100.
So
Okay.
we might as well replace both of them if we're gonna need to do it, and then look at what the tire swing is.
So I looked at the tire swing. So the stand that's there for the tire swing's fine. The mechanism that bolts on that does all the swivel work is fine. The actual chain was damaged, and because it's still in the shed, and the tire swing itself is really cracked, pretty bad. So I asked Burke how much. Tire swing assembly, just the tire swing, $643. 2 chains. I don't know why she quoted me for 2 chains. It has 3. 59 each. So then she quote, but that's 59 times 3. Oh, that's weight. She did quote me 3 chains. I'm sorry, I'm looking in the wrong column. $177 for all 3. She did the cleavage shackle with bolt, which I didn't need, which was $70, and then Loctite, which I don't need. I have that $8. So it was around $850 for just the chains and the tire swing. Now, I don't see why we cannot go to what Dave is looking at and go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a plastic molded tire swing with the 3 coated chains. Are they under $200? They're under $200 because we have everything else
Yep.
is fine. So, do we want to vote on buying a tire swing? Do we want to vote on spending $200 to buy a tire swing, Lisa?
I'm so sorry, I'm not allowed to vote.
Well, do you want to talk about it?
I okay with replacing that tire swing. I think it's a shame,
Do we
and I
have
think it needs to be.
Do we have enough of a
I'm
forum
not
to vote?
allowed to vote on the phone, I don't think.
Have enough of what?
Yes, you are.
Do we have enough people here to vote?
3. We
Oh,
only
yeah.
need 3 to vote. She
All
said
right,
he
thank
said you're allowed to vote on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Can we
Well,
just,
yeah, I'm pro replacing the tire swing.
Okay.
I'm pro replacing it based on going to Home Depot
Or Lowe's.
or Lowe's, wherever.
We could
Not
just-
going through Burt. I think we go through Burke for something like this
The
slide, because
yeah.
you have to.
And the bubbles,
Yeah.
well, when we, the
Well,
one
the
bubble.
bubbles now
The one
we-
bubble, yeah, no, we don't need to. All right, so, we can pick a location and we can pick a price, or we can just say we wanna spend X number of dollars. So it looked like, I thought I had a Lowe's one and a Home Depot one. That one's from Eastern Jungle Gym, that was 169, but I didn't do a lot, that's an actual rubber tire, whereas these are the hard molded ones, like what was there. The thing about this, you get bees nests inside of it when it's not
So
solid.
what's the price of this one?
133
I just saw another, what's this? in
store
this?
pickup.
Is that
That's
a
if you
different-
buy all three
Okay.
together. Buy that, and that.
Well, can we just say that we agree that we would replace it and spend up to?
I'd say up to, cause I'm
Yeah.
just, I wanna double check, confirm, cause,
Why don't we say we'd
cause
spend,
that, I've got that price and I've got
why
that
don't we
price.
spend up to $200?
Okay, do you wanna make a motion?
I make a motion that we replace the tire swing with, a product that we can buy locally and spend up to $200 for that replacement piece.
I second. Oh, Lisa seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And then I would just say, get Burke to requote the two pieces, and then we'll talk about that at the next meeting.
Yep, I have my notes on
There's
that.
no sense in replacing one with the other one cracked.
Nope, you're right, I didn't look at it very good. Tire swing price, $200.
Yeah, there's one at Home Depot, you can get it in green, yellow, or blue,
Yeah,
so-
that's the green one I had printed,
Yeah.
that one, I think. The
almost go with-
holder is red, I don't know if it matters, but it was red, it's not really red anymore.
I don't think it
Well,
matters.
isn't it most of the playground equipment blue?
I just know the metal that the tire swings on, those are red. Is most of the playground, the slide is blue, it doesn't matter the color, I don't
Red
care.
and green go good together.
So what I have to, what, all that we do at this
Whatever's
moment,
cheaper and available.
yeah, and normally what is done at this moment, like what I did when we did the buoys at the lake, I just send Beth the link and she just buys it.
Okay.
Because we approve the money, that way I don't have to order or get reimbursed or anything like that. So if our first pick is blue, second choice green, do people care?
That's fine.
All right, doesn't
I
matter.
like the whatever's available.
Okay, that's what John voted.
Come soon enough.
We may
Okay.
have to go pick it up, though.
It would probably be to the store, would be the cheapest, but if we can do it under the 200 for the shipping, we'll look at
If it's at a
it.
store and it needs to be picked up, just let me know. I'm in Manchester generally once a week and Concord once a
Home
week.
Depot usually has free shipping.
Typically they do, yeah,
store.
cause I've,
they
no,
don't give you your
no,
house lately.
at a certain dollar amount, because I normally get like really heavy stuff from them, like fencing stakes, where it comes on a pallet, and it's, so I will definitely look for free shipping, just cause it would be nice if it was here at the town offices.
And I can get it, I can pick up in Concord, that's not a problem, I'm there every day. Oh, I shouldn't say that, I'm there every day right now,
I know, summer's coming,
summer's coming. I can pick up in South Carolina.
Worst case scenario, I'm only 5 minutes from the Concord one.
okay.
Pick it up on my lunch hour.
All right, new quote, 2 tubes, okay. Driveway, we talked, Denise is going to reach out to Benji, and Naomi, to Benji/Naomi. Okay, irrigation shed, so when Ryan and I don't know, we went down there, I think, to look at the lock, because Lisa had said the lock was busted on the irrigation shed again, but you couldn't just put a new lock on, the thing was all mangled. So Ryan and I went to go look to see what he needed, because Lisa had hardware, make sure everything was gonna fit before we started to show up to do the job, and we opened up the
And I
shed.
had turned on the water.
The water, we didn't,
Yeah, I had turned on the
Yep.
water, when I turned it on, it was fine.
so the irrigation shed was leaking again. And Ryan was really surprised because the repair looked absolutely great. But it was leaking also, so Frosties came back out and they replaced the fittings, it's not leaking. They also replaced the switch box because there was water in that. And Frosties reported that we are going to need a new expansion tank. It's not holding air. He topped it off, So it's okay for now, we're not without water at the irrigation shed, but we're going to need a new tank because what's gonna happen, and this was Ryan's FYI, is it's going to start really having a high demand on the well pump because of the tank failing, which, who wants to replace the well pump?
Typical of irrigation systems.
I don't
They
know.
will go through those tanks and well pumps. In a
That's,
shorter time.
that's why Ryan said that if Frosty's recommends a bigger one, he kinda leans towards that too, because it's less work on it. But we didn't hear a quote back from Frosty's, did we yet?
You know what? I think she messaged me back that he had done something else, but it lost in my. I think she actually sent me a message on Facebook. So I have not. I've been a little busy this week because of end of school, so I have to go hunt for that. So I'll have to look for it and see if she's come back with anything. I just think it's our Facebook, and I have not been great about checking my Facebook this week.
Are they good at like responding to emails? Can I just email her?
You know what? All of our communication's been over Messenger or text. So, I'd have to get an email address.
I mean, I'll take it off your plate if you want to. Are you fine messaging her? Or do you want me to take it off your plate?
I'm driving, so I
Okay.
can't look.
I don't mean this minute. I don't mean this minute. I just mean in
No,
general.
I don't mind. I can continue communicating.
Okay.
I know that something came through, like, I think it was a day or two ago, and it's on my plate.
Okay.
But because of what's going on at work right now,
Okay.
where it's crunch time, I just have not.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you. The soccer field has no lock on the large gated entrance where the lawnmowers would go in, the really big swinging wide one.
I bought a lock. I just have to
Okay.
get down there.
Okay, so Lisa will install. Okay. All right. And we're gonna need one for the skate park too.
I will pick that up too.
Okay. Whack.
Do we want the same cable type that was there?
It worked. It was fine, right? Yeah.
So,
All right. Whack informed me. I don't know. Is Mr. Provencher the president?
Yes.
Okay. He informed me that Whack is personally hiring Stockhouse to repair the soccer field after lacrosse at Bolton. He wanted us to know that if we saw Stockhouse doing unapproved work, what's going on? Whack is paying him directly to do repairs because they said the time and the money.
when people do stuff for free.
When they do it, yeah, when they do it themselves, they lose so much time that they'd rather just pay and have it done. So he wanted to let me know that that was being paid for by Whack. It was not being added on to where, to the town. All right.
Just
What
point
about
out-
what about the football field?
Maybe he said football field. He said they were fixing all the lacrosse damage. That's what he said. So
Yeah, there's some sort of agreement between lacrosse and football that lacrosse will fix the damage.
and lacrosse
because
is
of
with
where the nets go.
and lacrosse is with Whack, right?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
And just for clarification, do we charge WAC at all for usage of any fields?
No, we don't charge anybody for usage of any of our locations because they're non-for-profit organizations that are allowed to use them. And they're town non-for-profit. And we don't let profit people come in, like we've had soccer clubs ask to use our fields, and we've not let them. Like Seacoast Soccer and stuff like that.
Would we want to rethink that as a?
I asked at the
revenue?
Board of Selectmen, and they pretty much at this time wanted to just leave it that way. The last meeting I went to, that was a year ago, but, so, we can definitely revisit it, but we were willing to open it up to charging them, you know?
Yeah.
All right, anybody else, Bolton Park, can we move on?
Yes.
Good. Chase Park, we're open for the season, yay! Kristen's doing awesome, it's great. So,
I
late,
did receive a request, I think we received a request on Facebook for opening it up on Friday. I think they wanted to like pay to have it open.
Yeah.
I responded and I said, it will not be open and you're not allowed to go in.
yep.
Yeah, did you see my response?
I saw that and your response was great, and I also replied and said that it does get open for organizations that fill out a request for approval with proof of insurance. So she can't be like, well, I've seen people there overnight, you know, kind of thing. So I just elaborate on what you said, saying if you had an organization that was fully insured and you submitted a form that got approved, then yes, you could have the park overnight too. She wanted to pay for a pool party or something. But no. So yeah, I saw that too. We're not right now, but future business, we're going to look at the lake hours and see how we've been coming under budget because we haven't submitted a fall schedule yet. The stickers did get delivered. The staff said they're doing great. The stickers are doing great. Naomi said the boat ramp progress was that we're still on track for in the fall. Let's see. As far as planting dirt goes by the gatehouse, no, you can't have that until we have wood chips at Bolton. Sorry.
So there's an erosion issue there. And
No.
We had talked about doing this last year. So we're gonna have to put something there. So we had talked about it last year, and that this was kind of a continuation of that.
So this is the erosion that's by the boat ramp.
No, this is erosion that is by, we cleared it out, last year we started the project of clearing out beside the gatehouse because it was so like nasty, weedy. Kristen had tried to plant stuff there. So we were gonna continue that. We were gonna put some dirt down. The problem is if we put more, there's erosion now between the two, pieces of pavement. It's a little tiny triangle. So we need to put some sort of stone or something. We do have stones there that we could try to put down, have the staff put down. I think there's some stones left, so we could use that.
Would you rather do that than get dirt for planting? What would you rather see?
Well, I think that we can still do that because I think that, I think we can buy like 2 of those, you know, of those big planters and just put flowers in that on top of those stones. And that's the cheapest way out, I think.
Okay, because I was gonna.
Talk to Naomi, talk to Benji, they may have some extra stone down at the highway.
And we do have a pile of leftover stone from a project there. Nice,
Yeah.
crushed
Yeah,
granite.
we do.
So yeah, use what we have first. Otherwise, I mean, if we get a price for the dirt, we can do something about it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Eagle Scout sign needs to be finished. How do we put the pressure on the Eagle Scout project to be finished?
I think we need to email the Eagle Scout.
None of the signs are mounted on the actual board. So the board's complete and it looks great and it's
Well,
beautiful, but.
Have we signed off?
It got signed off because it was winter time and the signs were gonna be put up in the spring. And, there was a deadline. It has to be done before the 18th birthday. So there was a deadline. So the project was complete enough. It's just the signs being mounted.
Is there a Eagle Scout leader?
Yes,
There,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I
His
say-
leader,
I
yep.
think you contact the Eagle Scout leader and you say, listen, you know, this does not represent.
Right. Do
the-
you want to email him,
And,
Lisa?
we suggested that within the next 2 weeks.
Or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Do you
I
want
ju-
me to do it or not?
I
Right.
will probably just call him and I'll just say, hey.
Well, here's my thought. Here's my thought from a board member. If you email both parties together in a copy, we have a paper trail.
Okay. Janine, will you please do that?
I will do that. I have no problem
And
doing
I
that.
think
Thank you.
in a very
And I,
courteous and respectful way. we
I'm good
simply-
like that.
We just simply say, this doesn't represent Eagle Scouts well, to have an unfinished project, and we
I've
would
not made anybody mad yet,
like to have it done.
except John. But that's because he didn't have any pizza. All right. So, price increases for the 2023 season. Lisa submitted the prices for the stickers.
Yeah, we spent $1,100 on stickers. And I really just think that, well, number one, there are a couple cost-saving things that we can do. One is that we're gonna, have them come bigger, because the stickers cut the way they are, is a big problem. The side, because they have the ones that go on the cars have to be sticky on the front, that's an issue. We can't number those by hand. So because of the way they go onto the windshield, they're on from the inside. If that makes sense. We can number the boat ones by hand, but it's super simple to wipe that off. You put a little bit of alcohol on any kind of permanent marker, and it's not so permanent anymore.
No, I think you're right that you have to have the numbers printed on the stickers.
So keep track of.
We have to price shop. We have-
We cannot just keep giving a $2 ticket to somebody who's got a second car, who wants a sticker. It's really gotten to a point where we really need to think about these things, especially if we're gonna be doing revolving stuff.
So I would like to make a recommendation, because this kind of goes into when we talk about the revolving account and some of the other things. I would like, between now and budget time, could we have one of these meetings where, as far as the topics that were discussed, unless they're urgent, could we have a session?
We can make a special, we can meet more than once a month if that's what you want to do.
Or just say what's absolutely necessary to talk about this month, and spend the rest of the meeting strategically talking about Parks and Rec.
Should probably do a special meeting,
And I think we,
Special
because
meeting
in
for
30
budget
days,
stuff
we
would
get
be really
other
good.
stuff to
okay.
talk about. We
So I
always
think
get
that
stuff
we
to talk
should
about.
schedule something as we go into budget season, because the sticker cost is part of a bigger issue.
Small slice
Yeah.
of the pie.
Correct. So I think we need to have a strategy, because I think then we're gonna have to, at some point, maybe sit down with the select board, understanding what future budgeting may have to look like if we're gonna be able to keep up with all
Another
this.
thing is that we have, and I'm gonna pick on one group, and I apologize for this one group, but we have seniors who come in and they've got a free vote. Well, they expect to have 4 free votes on there, and it's like, I don't care who you are, whether you're a senior or veteran or somebody else, if you can afford 4 votes to go on the lake, I don't think they need to be free. And it just, at some point, we need to talk about all these.
I am totally fine with charging seniors $10 for the season. That is like nothing. You know what I mean? That is so nothing. I am fine with that, and I'm fine with residents, going up to 20 or 25 for the season.
So
it's still nothing.
Yeah, so I think,
Yeah.
because it's already 10 minutes to 9.
Yeah.
I think we should look at,
I just wanted to put it out there,
Yeah.
so it was
and
on
I think it's
here.
a great idea, I think we should have a special session where we can just sit and talk about,
Budgets and prices.
yeah, and expenses and revenue and again, I think I said at the last meeting, I haven't had a chance to do it, but I've got the names of Park and Rec's directors of other towns.
New Boston's really, really, really helpful, and so is Goffstown. I've reached out to both of them for other
Yep.
questions, like about
So they're both on my
very
list, and
helpful
then,
to respond.
and I'm gonna try to connect with Hillsborough also, so
Okay.
I have Hillsborough, Goffstown.
Goffstown and New Boston are real offices, so
Yeah.
they're really nice.
But Hillsborough is, I went on their website, they're kinda like us,
Okay.
they have a couple beaches,
Okay.
they have that big grass
And probably
field.
volunteers.
Well, I don't know, but I'm gonna
Okay,
find out.
okay.
and
No,
how-
they're not. They're paid. And
They're
they
paid
have,
too.
they have a huge summer program that happens
And
are manning.
from what I can see from websites, all these towns have huge summer programs, but they have them because they have
A staff
a staff.
and a budget.
But they are generating revenue. Revenue that can go back into the upkeep of,
No doubt.
so anyways, not for tonight, but
All right.
that's why I think.
And
we
not
need
for
to-
tonight either, the lake policies. We want to look into lake policies for when guests break the rules, because our staff wants to know what to do. They
Right.
want to have a black and white, you did this, you needed, this is the situation. So we'll talk about that later. Okay, on to the library. Karen reached out to me, they'd like to borrow the games for the summer kickoff to reading, which is June 23rd, 6:30. Last year, I picked the games up at the shed, they're in the Bolton irrigation shed, and I drove them to the library. It took me 3 months to pick them back up and bring them back. So I am not sure I'm the one to do this.
I'll do it.
Okay, I'm not even gonna be here the 23rd. You
I'm
can,
not either.
you don't have to bring it on the 23rd. They have a place downstairs in their basement where it can go.
So I have to do it in the next couple of days, cause I'm leaving on the 20th.
So when you go, you have the combination for the irrigation shed. She might have changed it because it's a new lock. But I updated the notes and I think they're shared with you.
I think we updated it.
I think I shared the notes. I think you're in my shared notes, so you should have gotten the update, Denise. Hang on.
All right,
Let me look. Park and Recreation
I'll try to
combos.
get down there and pick the games up.
It's right there. So it's
Okay, that's what I had. All right.
okay. So it's whatever. There's the cornhole boards.
yeah,
It's
I saw
whatever
them.
games. And
And
usually,
Clay. I know Clay, so I'll.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they normally just put them downstairs in the Sawyer room.
Yeah, and then, so
Okay.
I'll try,
Can they pick them up? Can we have, if he were to pick them up and he were to bring them back?
No, I'll.
She
I'll go
could
down.
ask,
No, I'll just go down and.
But, yeah.
I'll snag them
okay,
before the week's over. I saw
right.
Clay, usually in the mornings, Clay, I see him pull in, I can just run down and, when we're playing.
just tell them you're gonna bring them and when,
Yep,
okay.
and then I'll ask him
As
when
long
he'll
as it's
be
board
done
for
with
the
them and bring
23rd,
them
yeah.
back.
Yeah, they're done that night, the 23rd.
Okay,
I usually would bring them home that night,
I
but I
can't-
forgot the right truck. No,
Yeah.
they held them for me for
that's
a
fine,
couple.
yeah.
Okay, Karen also asked about story time at the lake. She had kind of run it by Kristen. Kristen, I'm assuming said it was fine. I thought it was June 29th to August 27th. It's July 27th. So she's asking to do Wednesday at 10:30, June 29th to July 27th, every Wednesday. What we had was we had like 5 or 6 free passes allowed for story time users. So if they didn't own a pass, they would come up and say they're there for story time, and Kristen would give them a pass so they could be there for story time at no charge. Is that, everybody all good with that still? Okay.
Yep.
All right, budget. The trustees of the trust, that'll be a budget meeting. We'll talk about that more with the Emma Sawyer Fund. Dave had lots to talk about, with Joe about that, but I don't wanna shortchange it tonight. Seniors requested from Lisa, our director, on using their funds this year for themselves to get together after all the COVID holdup. Since 2017, as far back as my records show for budget, without going through the town, just my own records, they have had a $1,000 credit line with us. They've not had more. They thought for some reason it was 2,000. I'm not sure where they got that number. It's 1,000. That money's for them. If
I
they're,
did get back to them and I did tell them it was
Okay.
1,000 and she said, oh, okay.
that money's for them. They use it however they want, and we pay the bill. And if they use it, then we won't do baskets, because we don't have another line item for baskets, right?
Yes.
Yeah, as much as we would love to, I think if we had extra money, it'd probably be the first thing that we would spend money on.
Yes,
Because I think everybody really enjoys doing that.
I agree. And we'll see. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some Christmas fairy in November, and we will be able to do senior baskets, but we won't say it's a must, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So you contacted them and told them it's $1,000. Normally, I guess, I think they contact the restaurant and meet up, and then we pay the bill or something. I don't know how they
and
do
then,
it.
Yeah, they built the restaurant bills the town and then
Okay.
the other money they use at the Legion to put on a lunch.
Okay, because they stay really local. I think they usually go to Dimitri's or something.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that the Inison shed, they're still working on the shed, and we'll know when it's complete, that we'll go to the Board of Selectmen, they'll go to the Board of Selectmen to get it adopted, accepted.
Romeo will have to inspect it before that.
Right.
And speaking of that, so when they donate it, can they donate money to be put into to be held to do repairs on
I
it?
don't even know how to start to try to do that.
I don't
We
think
need to
there's-
talk to the
there's
Board
not
of
a fund
Selectmen. I think
designated
that
for
we
that.
would need to do that prior to allowing them to build in the first place. I don't know
So-
if they ever been asked.
That would
Yeah.
have to be put in the budget. It's a line item, right? It would have to become a budget line item, I think.
Yes, and it would need to be,
We
yeah, it
have to
would need
check
to
with
be,
that to see if a donation can be accepted specific for that building maintenance.
it would,
And
it would
you
have
said
to
Beth?
go into a budget like what we have, that would be a fund, right? Like a. I
Well,
don't know
here's the deal though. What happens if they finish the building and they donate to us and we say, but we need a fund for repairs and maintenance, and they say, sorry.
I think it's a bigger issue that I think we talk about.
Now, and then
And-
in the future, when a building is
Because I
started,
think-
they
When
know.
they want to
they
put
can't-
something on our property, we're like, okay, great.
Here's, if
It's a
you-
little late now for this shed.
Right, if you wanna build a property on one of our facilities, here are the 5 things that have to occur, including a maintenance fund that will carry the building for
Certain number of years.
X number of
That's
years.
a discussion that we
Yeah.
need to have with the Board of
Yeah,
Selectmen.
maintenance fund is gonna put a roof on
That's
it,
fine.
it's gonna put, yeah, whatever happens.
I mean, I think
Okay.
we're gonna need to,
Probably have PARC come to the Board of Selectmen with that idea.
well, I
But
think,
that's a decision that has to be made at that.
I bet that could happen.
I think when we go to the Board of Selectmen, it's not just that one thing.
In general.
I would like to have an opportunity for this commission to have some time with the selectmen, Board of Selectmen, to really talk about the challenges that we
And
have.
they're willing to meet us anytime we want, we just put it on their agenda, and they're willing to give us as much time as we need. If
So-
we need a lot of time, they might make it not a particular night that they have a full agenda,
Well, that's
but they'll
fine, and
make
we
it a
may
light
not,
night.
I think, you know, we may only need 15 minutes and then discussion, that's why we need a meeting.
It's never 15 minutes,
But I
it's always
think
enough.
we need to have,
Not if I go.
I think Parks and Rec Commission, we need a strategic plan.
Yes, I like plans.
And then we go to the Board of Selectmen with, this is what we're thinking.
Yeah.
And these are the challenges that
And
we
that'll help
have.
with our budget meeting.
Yep, and then we have the picture inventory, we have a history of all the, I mean, the buildings that are falling apart that we can't fix, and what we've spent on, you know, the other things, and then begin to talk about what's the future look like, and then have some information from other towns with what they're doing.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
I don't always believe that we have to copy other towns. I'd really
Can
like
learn
to
from their
say,
mistakes.
but I'd like to say, what does Ware want to be?
Right.
What would Ware like to have for their citizens of their
If all of a sudden they
community?
started paying the recreation department, I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying that that's
know.
the answer, but I'm just saying, either that or you close up every park and,
Right. No, I agree. We need to focus on just having a meeting about that. On to Purington.
Let's go back to Einison, please, for a second.
Okay,
There has arrived, at Einison, a trailer. It is parked there,
whose trailer?
been there for several weeks. WAC has left a trailer, there's a trailer there that belongs to WAC. It's a food trailer. I'm not sure that we really need to have.
We did not approve that.
No, we did not. It got delivered because they were supposed to pick it up from somebody else's house and they never did. So it's sitting there, and I think we need to discuss whether we need to have it removed from there or what they're gonna do with it.
Do I email the president and ask?
Give them till the end of the, tell them they have till the end of the
I
month to
think
remove
so. I
it
think
before
that would be the
the
best
Board of
course of
Selectmen
action. It's
have
been
it
there
done.
for a few weeks now.
It's been there for a few weeks. All right. So the food trail, Einison, end of June, removal
Remove by the end of June.
or
before
Board of
the
Selectmen
will have it towed.
will have it towed.
And they will pay for storage and,
Yep, it'll be impounded and they'll be responsible.
I don't know who is it legal, is it legally registered and who is it legally registered
There's
to?
even a plate on it.
Is
I
there,
don't know who it's legally registered to. It belongs to, the
Right.
Ware Athletic Club.
I understand that. I'm just saying, if it gets impounded and it's tied to a person's name, I'd like to notify that person. I'll ask somebody that may know, I'll,
Pam would know the name of the person.
All right.
Maybe even I can.
that, I don't, okay. 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 I can email the president. How many things did I sign up for? Okay, are we on to Purington?
yeah.
Sure.
The shed, you said you saw people using the shed at Purington. There are two sides of it, and the storage side has been reported to be fine and usable. It's the food side that is
I've never been-
suspicious.
I don't know how it's partitioned.
So
All I
it's-
know is the door facing the parking lot was open and people were going in and out of that.
Okay.
I think that's probably where they store the first base, second
Yeah.
base, third base.
Yeah, they store all the
the
bags.
bags.
So they are two different sections, and it's the food section that's rotted,
When
rotten.
when they get to the field, the coaches are responsible for getting all the home plate, the bags, everything out, put on the
Yeah,
field.
but we were saying that shed shouldn't be used, and then he was seeing it used, and he was concerned, and so I checked, and it is two halves
Yeah,
inside
it's
there.
two different parts.
Okay. The rest of the stuff I think we can talk about later unless somebody else has something to talk about. All right. Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn, or does somebody have to? Go ahead. Oh, geez. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Just real quick,
The important stuff that Denise wanted to talk about.
just
with-
real quick.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You needed to. You had it on there.
Here's two copies, and I don't know if you want a copy, but there's one here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, based on our conversation,
Tastes like strawberries
Sorry.
on a summer evening.
last week, and this is really just for you to look at, and we can talk about it if we do this budget meeting. But I did some research on both revolving fund accounts. What I gave you in this document is a draft, and please note draft at the top. I went and looked at other warrant articles the town of Ware has done for revolving accounts, that's where I got the wording. And below it is what I pulled off the state's website in terms of what RSAs drive these things and what the rules and regulations are, if we were wanting to set up a revolving account. Hence why I'd like to have a budget meeting to talk about how that would all work. Please note, I highlighted in that draft language 100%. The state regulation says you can have 50%, 75%, 100%. The town would decide. I noticed the other revolving accounts, the one for the recycling center was 50% of the revenue came in, went to the revolving account, the other 50 went back to the general budget. The reason I put 100 in here, highlighted it, we can talk about it, we don't generate a ton of revenue.
Right.
So if you said 50%,
It
we
wouldn't be
could
much.
literally have $1,000, which isn't gonna help us do anything, as you can
Right.
see.
Right.
So, all I wanted to do to queue up, if we had that conversation, was, this was example wording of a warrant article. I know we have to talk with the selectmen and
Yep.
all of that.
Yep.
And just a little bit of educational material at the bottom as to what the state, what revolving accounts are for, and the different classes of them that they have.
We typically look at these around January timeframe, so we
Okay.
probably just sit on it till winter at least.
To make it, because what it, once they see it, then they send it to the lawyer to make sure there's nothing that we messed up on, and then it goes to vote. The town votes on the ballot in March.
Correct. What I wanna be sure of between now and then is we have our ducks in order. We've got, put everything in front of everybody that we need to, so we don't get to December 15th and we're scrambling to try. I'm not saying that we do that. I'm just
Sometimes you do.
one of these people who, can we get
Yeah,
our ducks in
yeah.
order as early as possible?
Yeah.
So that we're ready to go. I did the same thing for the capital reserve fund, a warrant article for the tennis
Tennis
courts. However, when I sent this to Beth to copy, she happened to see the header of it and said, are you aware that there are already 2 existing capital reserve funds? One for Chase Park that was established in 2005, and there is still money in it.
I've never seen those.
So I'm gonna get this wrong, but there's something like 59 cents left in the Chase Park one. And you'll laugh, but they did that to keep it open.
Oh, okay, I've
yeah.
heard that before.
And then the tennis court capital reserve fund was established in 2015 for the resurfacing, and there's $1.16 in that account.
That was the tennis court you said?
Yeah, so
And that was what year?
2015.
And
So
there's $1?
16 or something like
Okay.
that. I can forward you the email.
That's fine.
So when you look at this document I just gave you, where it says year 1, part of that we could cross off, because now we don't have to put a warrant article in to establish the fund, it's already there. What we'd want to talk about is funding.
Getting money in it.
And same thing, I included for you on the other pages what the state says about capital reserve funds versus expandable trust funds, and why one's better than the other, which capital reserve, according to them, is better. And in order to really start to talk about going to the selectmen and talking about funding the current capital reserve fund, we're gonna need to do some legwork on what is it gonna cost to redo the tennis courts altogether. New surface fencing, everything. If you give me the okay, I could start to reach out to organizations that do this, just to have them come in and give me some ballpark numbers.
Can you have them break it up
Yes,
into 3 years?
3 or 3 to 5.
Because that's what we were thinking about
Well,
doing,
what I
right?
would do from the companies is because what I need to do is say, the fences have to come down, the asphalt has to be torn up and taken away.
This is the application
Okay,
that we've done in the past for capital
Okay.
reserve, so that's that's
Yeah.
what they want for CIP.
And you know what would, based on, those courts were built in 1980, based on 2023, when tennis and pickleball are common usage for courts, maybe it's no longer a tennis court, but it's a multi-purpose recreational court, what would they recommend for not only the cost to redo it, but what would a layout be? Do we still wanna have 2 tennis courts designated, or do you do a designated tennis court
Designated pickleball
and
court.
pickleball? You know, would they give us a couple of options based on the footprint that we have? What would the price be? Then we could decide how we want it. Do we wanna break it up over 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? What do we think we could get through? But I didn't wanna start reaching out to people,
I'm fine with you getting
Um,
preliminary numbers and
just
scopes
because
and
we
everything
really
like
can't
that.
do, we really can't do.
You have to, they have to have it in writing from the company with the bids, or
Right.
they won't even look at it.
Right,
Yeah.
so I think, again,
Yeah.
time is
Right,
of an
and it's
essence. Yeah.
this is due in September.
Right, so if you give me the okay,
Yeah.
I will start to do
I'm
some more
fine, I'm fine with that. Lisa, are you fine with that?
Yeah, I don't think you even need to ask, I think you can get.
You have our approval.
I know, I
Well,
just,
the
I
other
never like to
question
do
is
anything.
It's in
is
writing.
while you're pulling the plans for Chase Park,
Yeah.
see what you can find for the tennis courts, and how big is that area we have
Right,
up there?
so I did.
How much, is there enough that if we wanted to be able to go back
Correct.
another?
We don't own any land behind it at all, I
Well,
believe.
I
Well, no,
do-
just find out how
Correct.
big the footprint is
Correct.
that we own and
So,
go from there.
Because I do have the original documents, but I don't have the plot size, and I agree with you, because a number of people have said, even if you could add 2 feet on each end, how much more could you? So I think it would be good to know how far out, how far from the border we have to be, and that would be all the stuff that I would
When you
gather.
get your quotes, also see if you can have them work into it, actually putting proper stairs.
And landscaping, I mean, we'd want wood chips or something in the front, so we're not tracking sand into it, and I'm really
Well, I'm
looking.
thinking like actual stone stairs.
Right, but she means beside it too, like, you
I'm
know.
gonna do all, I wanna include all the, for lack of a better word,
Somebody will have to
landscaping.
draw it out, cause I know CIP will see
Yep.
drawings.
Yep.
So.
I would imagine when she talks to the people doing the bid, that they would draw it out.
I
what
would
they
just
bid, What
say,
they propose.
Find out how big it is, because whether we can turn them 90 degrees and put 3 side by side, which means you could put solely pickleball, you could have one end be tennis court, and then have in the middle be a tennis court that you could flip to
Right,
pickleball.
right. These companies are doing this all the time, so I would kinda tell them what we were looking to do and have them draw out some options that I could bring back here. But then again, start gathering prices, so we at least know if we, if we have to fund 100,000 or 200,000, are we gonna do it over 3 years, over 5 years? Then we could add that into the warrant article, so on that document, I did a sample warrant article to create the fund, which we now don't have to do, and then to fund it, and we just have to determine how much that would be. But I gave you some background information on what the state says. The other thing is, when we have this meeting, I'd like to talk about accepting grant money. Next spring, I would like us to try to apply for a state grant. It appears every year the state gives a grant for outdoor type recreational facilities. Don't know how much, but it's the same thing. You submit a plan. If we had a plan, why not go for it? What's the worst I can do is say no. But even if we got a quarter of the funding, or, an eighth of the funding.
So,
and-
I've always been excited about grants and always find them, and I don't know anything about grant writing, and I believe
So
there's
this
an
one-
art to it.
So this one, I looked at it this year, we missed the
Okay.
deadline, when I looked at it, we'd missed the deadline by like a week. But it's not, it really is
What-
filling out an application.
Okay, and when is the deadline and what's it for?
It's in April.
April, okay.
I'll go back to the link.
What's it kinda just called, just
It's
kinda?
like the state of New Hampshire.
Well, you said there was a name, recreation grant or
Yeah,
something? Okay.
it's numbered, so last year was 32, this year was 33, so I'm guessing they've done it
How many
They've
years?
given 33 of, whatever. What you do is you apply and you attach what your plan is. They tell you whether you qualify to apply.
Okay,
They'll come back and say, we think your plan is worthy to apply.
okay. Do they tell you prices or what they like to
I
fund?
cannot
or-
find anything on what they fund. But,
Can we
again,
submit more than one plan?
no, but there's a person's name I can reach out to call
Okay,
to.
ask questions, okay.
Yeah.
That would be,
Yeah.
um,
And then the other thing,
Pam had found that they had grants for skate parks,
yeah,
but they had to be concrete and they had to be so big.
right,
And we
so,
didn't have the
particular
space.
grant you're talking about was grant round 33.
that's it.
One of the key stipulations in here is project sponsors are required to commit to a minimum of 50% matching.
50% matching.
So again, I'm not saying that,
Something to start with. It means
It's
if we got the
something-
if we got the town ballot to say, we'll give $5,000 to the skate park and then we can get 5,000, it's just,
right,
Somewhere to start.
or if we could get the town to commit to, funding over, of course, again, I would wanna, that's why I wanted to talk to the woman. If we got a town match, but the match was gonna occur over a 3-year period, does it have to be all in 1 year? I have a lot of questions, but it's worth asking about. In addition to that, other towns, when they put up the thermometer and do formal fundraising, what are the opportunities there too? Because the Ware Pickleball Club is willing to spearhead some of that, but we're not an official 501c3 or anything, so we have no mechanism to, not that we couldn't become one, because we've looked at becoming a 501c7, which is like what a tennis club becomes. Then you can do some fundraising, but you can't do huge, you can't keep a whole lot of money in your coffers. But again, trying to go to the town with.
WAC is a non-for-profit, I don't know what kind they are,
But
and they're
it's a
allowed to have a
balance,
certain
it's,
amount.
you're fundraising against your dues and fees that you collect. The problem with the Ware Pickleball Club is we're so small, we don't have dues and fees,
Good point.
and so, if we could only collect $1,000 in fundraising, is there another way to set up a fundraising account where we can engage the whole town in different activities? Again, for that budget meeting, can we talk about different things that we can do?
We'll just end up having to pick an extra time in August, like, we'll just have to look at the calendar, and we have to post it, we have to do notice. So this is May, this is June, so July,
Because even if CIP stuff has to be
I'm
done
home for
by
this meeting.
September, we gotta get moving.
I'm home for August meeting. So, yeah, so basically, we have a meeting August 9th, and we could just pick, and it doesn't have to be a Tuesday, but
Yeah.
Tuesdays,
Just gotta make sure the room's
it
available.
has to be an empty night, yep.
I just
Alright.
think that we have a lot of work to do between now and if we really wanna.
All right, somebody has to
I
vote.
move we adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
we adjourned at 9:17.
The receipt I got.